Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone doing today? Welcome for another episode of We Need to Talk with Tony Lindsay. This is like kind of like an emergency session here because, as you guys saw, Mark Zuckerberg broke the internet this morning. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Once again, my name is Tony Lindsay. This is We Need to Talk with Tony Lindsay, where we discuss the very important issues that we need to discuss. And as you guys know, I've always been a proponent of free speech. I'm a free speech absolutist because without free speech, we don't have any freedom in this country. This is why I decided to do this episode because it is very, very important. For those of you who are watching on TikTok, which I have streaming right next to me, you can find me on Rumble at We Need to Talk with Tony Lindsay. That's Lindsay. We Need to Talk with Tony Lindsay. You can also find me on YouTube at We Need to Talk with Tony. And you can also find me on X right there, as you see on the screen, Tony L Talks on X. All right. So the reason why I'm doing this right now, I'm only going to be on here for a few minutes, but I wanted to talk about the announcement that Mark Zuckerberg made this morning about restoring free speech to Facebook and Instagram and Threads, which I'm not currently signed up on. But I think it's very interesting, and I want to walk through it, and I wanted you guys to hear it yourselves. In his own words, I want you guys to hear exactly what he had to say, and I want us to kind of go through it, all right? Now, I just want to make sure if you're, for anyone who's listening right now, I want to make sure that there's no echo or anything like that. Can you guys hear me clearly? Not talking to you guys on TikTok, but I'm talking to anyone who is watching me on Rumble or YouTube. I just want to make sure that there is no echo currently that you can hear, because I want to make sure the sound is good. And, obviously when I play this back and I edit it to put the clips out, I want to make sure that it's playing properly. Let me see. Somebody sent a request. Hey, teacher lady, just give me one quick second. But yeah, good morning, White American 48. Okay, interesting name. But how's everybody doing? So anyway, I'm going to pull it up for you and we're going to talk about it. This is Mark Zuckerberg this morning. I woke up to see Mark Zuckerberg on the screen of every app that I was running, making his announcement. So for those of you who are unaware of this, let's walk through it, what Mr. Zuckerberg had to say.
Hey everyone, I want to talk about something important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of
government and legacy media has pushed to censor more and more. Mark Zuckerberg is giving public testimony right now. And by the way, I would suggest that you all take this and document every word that this man said. And I'm going to tell you why just a little bit later, especially to you guys on TikTok, because I've been talking to you all about this for weeks now, and actually months. But let's keep it going.
This is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections.
Too many mistakes and too much censorship. You're hearing this from Mark Zuckerberg's mouth. Too many mistakes and too much censorship. He's admitted to censoring millions of people. Now, I know a lot of you folks out there, you're happy to see Mark Zuckerberg, quote unquote, bending the knee. A lot of you guys are saying, but please understand that every word he is saying here is extremely important.
Also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US.
Did you guys hear that? First thing we're going to do, we're going to get rid of fact checkers. And we are going to replace them with community notes, just like X. Let's continue.
After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created.
Oh, really? The fact checkers have become too politically biased. Didn't Facebook already say in court when they were being sued for censorship before that fact checkers are nothing more than opinions? Remember that? But they've been using those opinion articles to determine what is the truth. They have actively been acting as arbiters of truth for all of this time on behalf of the government, which Mark Zuckerberg implicates in this video. I want you guys to pay attention to this. I've been telling y'all about this. I told y'all about these lawsuits. I'm not playing. Let's continue.
Especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement—
Wait, so you're going to allow people to actually have conversations? Got it.
To be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far.
Who are the people with different ideas that have been shut out? Just say it. Conservatives, say it. Just be honest. Don't talk around it. We have been shutting out the opinions and the voices of anyone who is critical of left-wing policies. Just say that.
So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action.
Okay, so this is important. One, he's basically admitting here right now that they have been proactively going after you, using algorithms, using tech to do this, using artificial intelligence. And you know why that's important? And this is what I've been talking about for a while. It kind of stands as this plausible deniability shield where you can somehow say, oh, well, it was a mistake by the tech. It was the machine that did it, not us. You know, I've always talked about this for a while. If you're going to be using quote unquote fact checkers, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, why aren't you utilizing people? Why aren't people checking this, verifying this information? How many times have you guys been you put up a post on social media, you even start to write a comment on Instagram, and before you can even press send, it stops you and says, oh, this looks similar to something that was flagged. You can get suspended for this. Listen, this is a way of shielding yourself from accountability and giving yourself plausible deniability. That's what it is at the end of the day. And so, and you know what? I want to just kind of play that part one more time.
And high severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action.
So they're going to rely on people reporting an issue. So he's telling you, I mean, and it's the same thing with TikTok. A lot of times when we get censored, when we get banned or suspended, we always say, "Oh, someone's reporting us. People are reporting us." No. These big tech platforms, they have algorithms that are programmed to listen to certain keywords, listen to certain phraseology, and obviously targeting specific individual accounts in order to monitor you and restrict you. So the argument that, oh, it's everyone is reporting, it takes away the culpability of the big tech of these platforms. Don't think that they don't have the technology to do exactly what he's articulating here, and they go even further. So the responsibility of the censorship that you guys have been undergoing is purely on those platforms. And here's why I say that. We know it's the government that has been coercing them into doing this. But no. There's a responsible party, because they full well had the right to say, no, I'm not doing that. That is not in alignment with our policies as a private business. We're not going to do that. But no, he didn't do that. They didn't do that. They decided that they were going to capitulate to those demands, and they were going to act as tentacles of the state in censoring you. So if anything, they were complicit in an illegal government action against you, taking away your constitutional rights. Why? Not because you have this constitutional right to free speech on social media, but because you have a constitutional right to free speech that the government has imposed itself in order to restrict you by using someone else as a proxy, these platforms. Do you all understand what I just said to you? I need to know that you understand this. So even when you all go out and file these lawsuits, as I've been saying for months now, make sure that you include as a respondent the United States government. And let's continue before I start preaching and not letting y'all get to it.
The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth, we're bringing back...
Sorry to keep stopping it, but what is bad stuff? Unfortunately, this means that we're going to miss some bad stuff. Bad stuff by whose standard? Who determines what bad stuff is? These people play in the language of subjectivity. They use this subjective language in order to, and they use it in order to establish facts. Who determines what the bad stuff is? What Mark Zuckerberg just said, that was him placating the lunatic left. That's exactly what he was just doing when he said that. He was placating to all of the Jamil Hills, the Roland Martins, the Whoopi Goldbergs, the Rachel Maddows, the Joyanne Reeds, all of those lunatics who are going to go up in arms and go after him because he has decided to grant you free speech on social media.
Civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now. And we're starting to get feedback that people want us. It feels like we're in a new era now. We're starting to get feedback to catch less bad stuff.
Listen, I'm doing this because I want you guys to catch everything that this guy is saying. Listen.
Stuff. But we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down.
Listen.
Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now. And we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive.
So he's bringing back civic content. In other words, he's allowing political speech. And the reason why he's saying that, we're allowing free speech, we're allowing political speech because clearly this is what you guys want now, but you didn't want it before. See, a lot of people could have missed that. He's saying this, that the reason why, see, he just put that on you. He put it on you. He said that the reason why they took civic content out of there was because it was what you wanted as the user. You didn't want to hear anything about any politics on those social media platforms when it was actually you who was espousing politics on the social media platforms. See, I want you to understand specifically why he said that, because he's also in this to protect his company as well. So the way that he's framing this argument is that he did this because that's what you wanted. He did it to protect you. Guess who he's leaving out? The people who actually wanted to silence that political discourse, which is the government. It is the establishment. It is the intel agencies. It is those people who he was submitting to the demands of. It had absolutely nothing to do with you as the user. Let's make that clear.
Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas.
Oh.
As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams. Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world.
Oh, now you realize
Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there.
Yeah.
Latin American countries have secret courts that can order companies to quietly take things down. China has censored our apps from even working in the country. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the US government. And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship.
What did he just say? What did he just say? Here, listen. What did he just say?
Past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship.
Mark Zuckerberg is snitching. He just told you. He literally just told you the US government was pushing for censorship. Do y'all realize what that man just did? He just I'll explain what he did later. Let's keep going.
By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity.
Oh, he is throwing the Biden administration and the intel agencies under the bus right now. He is throwing them under the bus. He's putting it. My man he's a witness. Right, man, this man is testifying right now.
Opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it. It'll take time to get this right, and these are complex systems. They're never going to be perfect. There's also a lot of illegal stuff that we still need to work very hard to remove. But the bottom line is that after years of having our content moderation work focus primarily on removing content, it is time to focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our systems, and getting back to our roots about giving people voice. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. Stay good out there, and more to come soon.
Okay. Y'all also notice that he's going to be taking their office out of California and going to Texas. It's so funny. We were just talking about this last night in a live I was doing. Like all of these huge companies, they are leaving states like California, New York. A lot of institutional investors are departing. They are leaving from these Democrat-run cities, Democrat states, because clearly these people, the politics are just they're too crazy. And the thing that it's so frustrating is I have a lot of Democrat friends who have bought into the censorship. They bought into the lunacy of everything that's been going on. And it's like they would actually see Mark Zuckerberg allowing the free exchange of ideas as a bad thing. I guarantee you that the left, their heads are going to explode because of this. They are going to go up in a frenzy because opposing perspectives are now going to be allowed publicly that would criticize them or their politics, that would challenge their ideas. That's the problem. You see, liars, they need censorship. Liars need, all other points of views to be silenced. They need that, because otherwise everything else they have to say is not valid. Doesn't mean shit. So let's look at what the left has to say right now, because I'm scrolling. We're gonna scroll through my TikTok, not my TikTok. We're gonna scroll through my X right now. You have Jamil Hill right here. She's sharing it. What's her quote? To quote the elders, we are living in the last days. I want y'all to see how the left is responding to this. Hold on, let me find another one. Okay. Oh, Glenn Greenwald. Well, I'm sure Glenn is very balanced and there. Yeah, okay. Glenn is on point, but we're not going to read that. I want to find the critics of this. Oh, Roly Poly Martin. What does Roland Martin have to say about this? This is 100% capitulation by Mark Zuckerberg. Just despicable. Roland spends all his time on social media calling people stupid, despicable idiots. This guy's such a bozo. Hold on, let me find one more, because the left, I'm telling you, the left. Okay, no, that's Alex. I want one more. I just want one more. Where's Zuckerberg? Because his face has been all over my feed all morning. Give me one more. Maybe. Oh, wait. Here's someone. Oh, David Sachs. Okay, well, yeah, this is actually good news. Yeah, it's so crazy to see how opposite, like how opposing people's perspectives are on the issue of free speech. I mean, if anything, that is one thing that I believe all Americans should be united on, right? When it comes to the concept of free speech, we should all be for the open exchange of ideas. I mean, what's the solution to bad speech or hate speech or whatever? Good speech, right? More speech. If I'm saying something that is wrong, correct me. Aren't we? Isn't that the goal? Correction. If there's false information out there, you want truthful information out there to shed light on the lies. If I'm telling the truth about something, if I know what I'm saying is true, there's no reason for me to want to censor anyone else and their voice, because the truth that I speak will always outshine the lies that those people tell. So, in conclusion, as it pertains to this Mark Zuckerberg thing, there's a lot of folks. I've been spending a lot of time on TikTok doing TikTok lives and things of that nature, because I have been one of the most heavily censored people on the internet, period. But on Meta platforms, I am not even allowed to exist. Like, while I have an account, my name is censored on Facebook. Just go to Tony Lindsay, Lindsay. My website. When I decided, there was a point when I decided, this is how bad it is with me. Not only have I been like crazy censored since before COVID, but the moment you started telling the truth on Facebook, the moment you started to push back against the status quo and the going narrative, the more a lot of you guys started to notice that you were getting thrown in Facebook jail. You were being shadow banned. No one could see you in their news feeds anymore. Yeah. But then it started to get even deeper. People who were tagging me, just simply tagging me in posts, their accounts were getting suspended. People who Here's a perfect example. My website, let me see if I even have it here. My website is TonyLindsayOfficial.com. I want you guys to do an experiment here, actually. Let me create the banner because this is what I want you guys to do. Tony Lindsay. Now, I don't know if they removed it since this morning when now all of a sudden they're trying to, capitulate Mark Zuckerberg. But here, that's my website on the screen right there. I had started building my website, TonyLindsayOfficial.com. Before the website was even complete, I put up a post. Now, the website is there, but I want to update some of it and add more web pages and things of that, because I had decided that participating on social media was like a futile task. So what I wanted to do was build a website where all of my followers could come to one central location to get their content without worrying about being punished for tagging me or communicating with me, being a friend with me on social media, without this thing where I'm always getting thrown in Facebook jail the moment I say something that the establishment doesn't like. So I created the website. So I put up an announcement and I said, "Hey everyone, it's been great, but I'm creating a new platform, and you guys can all follow me over here because I won't be on social media on Facebook too much." I put up the name of my website, TonyLindsayOfficial.com. You guys can meet me over there. Within 7 minutes, Facebook took it down. They said that it was spam, or no, it violated the community standards. My website was permanently blocked from all Meta platforms, not just Facebook, Instagram, Threads. It's so much you can't even type that right there, that website address. You can't even send that in the DM to somebody. Forget me. Just, how you share links on your Facebook page? Try to share that link and look at the message you get. Send someone a message in the inbox with my website address. Just look at what you're going to get. So I even tried to create a new account, but when I used my actual name when trying to create a new Facebook, Instagram account, hold on 1 second. All right, we're back. But when I used my actual name, it prevented me from even creating an account. So I wasn't even able to create a new account. So what I'm saying is people are definitely being targeted on Meta platforms, on social media platforms, and it goes much deeper than simple content. They're going after you specifically, even on TikTok. The day before the election, now it's no secret that I was voting for Donald Trump. And in the months leading up to it, I tried to bring people from both sides to a better understanding as to why Donald Trump was the better candidate. And I ended up, let's say, converting or coming to and helping people reach an understanding as to why Donald Trump was a better option. And I was punished for that. I was heavily targeted on TikTok. My accounts were on November 4th, the day before the election. If anyone participates on TikTok, you got to have like 4, 5, 6 accounts. You got to create backup accounts because people get censored and banned so much. So the day before the election, I had like 5 or 6 backup accounts. They banned all of my accounts wholesale the day before the election. Now that reads like you're trying to stop me from reaching people. And so it's like we have to understand that this is bigger than just some policy issue. It's not. They're going after specific voices. Well, they're going after anyone who disagrees with the going orthodoxy, but even more so, they are going after specific people who they see as influential in opening minds, in awakening people. And that's why I always say, don't ever think that your voice doesn't matter. It matters. The things that you have to say really matter, especially when you see that you're targeted so much. It must mean that you're being effective. We have to start being more confident in espousing our own ideas. We have to be unapologetic. But most importantly, we have to hold people accountable. That's what you need to do. You have to hold people accountable. It's not even about partisanship. This is the problem. The legacy media, which Mark Zuckerberg just pointed out, they have been heavily invested in keeping this country divided, keeping its people divided, based in partisanship, in loyalty to political parties, which makes it easier for them to instill certain ideological it installs certain ideology into people, unfortunately, through propaganda that makes you see anyone who disagrees with you as an automatic enemy. And if you think they don't have teams of people who are invested, where they have what do you call those? They have these groups. They have I don't know, I'm having a brain fart right now. But they have all types of teams that they put together to study these types of things. They do their analysis, they do cognitive analysis, they do this type of thing in order to understand how people think, how to better manipulate people, similar to like MK Ultra, things like that. This is how they try to change the thinking of people and try to distract you from who the real enemy is. No, even more than focus groups. I'm talking about they have these teams of people that they put together where they do all types of research on this types of stuff, on how to manipulate people on social media, in media. You know, they've infiltrated your news media. We don't have journalists anymore. All we have are stenographers for whatever the state is. Whatever the state decides needs to be said, these people are just stenographers for it. The media is supposed to push back against that stuff. The media is supposed to hold people accountable, which is why I said X, and I've said this before Elon Musk said it, X is the #1 place for news on the globe. And I think the writing was clearly on the wall for a lot of legacy media who was dominating, you know, the conversation for so long. But a lot of this was delivered through social media. But I think now that Donald Trump is in office, whether you like the man or not, what he is fighting for, what he is promising to deliver to the American people is something that we all need, because it is the protection of our inalienable rights that are promised under the Constitution of the United States. Bro, you confused. Don't know who the enemy is yourself. Yeah, I'll get to you trolls later. I don't really have time for that dumb shit. Yeah. So, and that's another thing too. The comment section can be very distracting. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize. A lot of the stuff that you see on social media, a lot of the comments in the comment section, it ain't real. It ain't real. A lot of those are bots. A lot of these are paid trolls, and a lot of them are just brainwashed people. We know that. But a lot of the activity that you see on the internet, especially on social media, it is not real. And Elon Musk actually discovered that when he put in that bid to buy Twitter, if you all remember, because once they did their analysis, they found out that more than 70% of the engagement on Twitter at the time was bots. But guess what? Everyone's opinions was being shaped by everything in the comment section. You know, you say something and someone is insulting you. You know, like on TikTok, you got people that come into my lives. I do lives and I go in there. Like I'll be talking, and then you look at the comment section, you see all these raccoon emojis and Sambo, Uncle Tom, like dumb, stupid shit. Because they do that to trigger you, to get you emotional. Rage baiting. I did a video on this. Rage baiting. This is something in order to distract you, derail the conversation, take your focus off of the issues. So I think it's important that we don't allow ourselves to fall victim to that. But also, more important, with this moment, what we just saw with Mark Zuckerberg, that is very important, y'all, because we saw that he was starting to cave. The moment he saw that Donald Trump is looking like Trump was going to win this election, he started to fold a little bit. But at the same time, I warn you, don't take this as this as some way of now you can finally trust Mark Zuckerberg. You cannot trust him. Mark Zuckerberg is doing what is in his best interest in this moment. Period. He did not come to some sudden epiphany of conscience. He suddenly became a moral person and was like, oh, fine. I've been suffering and now I see the light. No, no. The man's a multi-billionaire, bro. He knew exactly what he was doing. Even when he went to Mar-a-Lago to go and kiss the ring of Donald Trump after the election, where he promised he wanted to become a part of the solutions on social media, that's just him trying to position himself and save himself from accountability. Let's be real. He's bending the knee. We know this. Now, I'm not going to speak to what his internal motivations are ideologically as it pertains to the protection of freedom of speech. But what I am saying is he's a businessman. What he cares about is his bottom line, period. He doesn't care about your freedom. He doesn't care about your constitutional rights. He's part of the oligarchy. Donald Trump came in and disrupted everything. That is why you saw, whether it was Democrat, Republican rhinos, the intel agencies, the globalists like BlackRock, bro, they all united against Donald Trump. Hollywood, and y'all know what's going on with Hollywood. And that's why I'm actually so impressed with what we saw this election, because it was an open rebuke of the status quo. The American people have had enough. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, it doesn't matter. Left, right. The American people said, we're finished. We're done with this shit. That's important. What's even more important is something that I noticed prior to the actual election. All of the polling that you guys see, let me tell you this right now. Polling doesn't matter for shit. Polling means nothing. Why? Because polling is you're asking people their opinion in a time where your opinion is punishable, damn near by law. This is a time when people are being bullied out of their opinions and their own unique perspectives, where people are being coerced into following the mob. So a poll doesn't mean shit to me. You know how many registered Democrats I know who voted for Donald Trump, but they still voted Democrat down the line for their council members and other shit, which I still find problematic because a lot of those people, they still shouldn't have gotten your vote. But the point is, the politics of today's so-called left, they are authoritarian politics. They are politics of bullying. They're politics of entitlement. They're politics of shaming, politics of virtue signaling, all of politics of intimidation, cancel culture. These are all things that are to bully you out of your own voice. Rediscover your voice. Be unapologetic and stand 10 toes down in what you believe. And here's the crazy thing. While the legacy media and a lot of social media and your elected officials may convince you that you're crazy and that you shouldn't believe your lying eyes, the majority of the American people actually share the same view as you, especially in the areas that count. That's something that I've noticed throughout the whole time. If you I'm sorry, because I'm also live on TikTok right now, because there's no real mechanism for me to stream simultaneously to TikTok as I am on the other ones. And it's so funny because I'm on YouTube right now, Facebook, Rumble, X, and so I'm able to read the comments here. But then when I look at TikTok, I see the highest amount of trolling and stupidity in the comment section on TikTok. That tells me that TikTok, they haven't gotten there yet. And that's why honestly I don't even really have any sympathy for TikTok. Like, I don't give a fuck if they get rid of the platform, if they have to. I don't really give a shit, because TikTok had a unique opportunity. But the moment they started talking about the genocide, well, not even them, but the moment they started to allow people to give their opinions as it pertained to Israel and Gaza, you had the ADL putting out the call to censor and shut down TikTok. You know, these people, AIPAC, these people control your politicians. They control your elected officials, whether you want to hear it or not. The reason why they did that with TikTok is because it was harmful to they were allowing people to speak their own thoughts and hold Bibi Netanyahu and the Israeli government accountable for what they were doing by genociding so many innocent women and children with impunity, while the United States government was aiding and abetting and blocking the rest of the world from holding Israel accountable. See, what I just said right now probably doesn't feel good to a lot of the conservatives that have come to follow me over the past few months. But I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. That's the problem. We all think through a lens of partisanship that tells us that if you don't agree with me on this, oh, you're not a pure conservative. You're fake. You're fake MAGA. Or you're not a real liberal. You're not a real leftist. You're not a true progressive. Or what? This is the problem, people. Why do you care about being subjected to some purity test as to whether you are worthy of being part of the group? That's one of the biggest problems, actually, culturally, that we have in society today. This incessant need to be included. I think that's one of the root causes of why we have so much chaos in our politics today. The United States is doing nothing but breeding followers through the education system, pop culture, music, entertainment, media, news media. The United States is mass producing followers, people who don't think for themselves, and they're demonizing critical thinking. The politics that rule the United States tell you that you dare not ask questions. Don't ask questions. Submit to authority. Submit to the fact checkers. That's misinformation. That's disinformation. That's malinformation. Yeah, we know it's true, but it could be harmful. So we have to censor that too. That shit is communism, bro. Do you all not see that? So the things that I say, I don't say them to pander to the left, to the right, whatever, however you self-identify, because I actually don't even believe that a lot of you who think you are on the left are actually on the left. Those of I think a lot of you who are on the so-called right, you're not on the right. There's so many different interpretations of political theory and ideology that I think makes it so it's this weird web of confusion. So I say, why bother identifying with any of it? How about you just think for yourself? I'm not a Republican. Well, let me retract that. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a progressive. I'm not far right. I'm not far left. I'm Tony. I think for myself. I have my own opinions. And I'm not passive. That's what they want. They want to breed passivity into you and your children. They are transforming this country into a processing plant of drones, of mindless drones who follow and ask no questions. That's why what happened during COVID-19 was very important. we were all subjected to a massive global experiment on compliance, on mass compliance of the population. And we failed miserably. We failed. We allowed government control over what is our own human rights to decide what we are going to do with our own bodies. So we allowed them to take away our rights to decide what we do with our own bodies. We've been allowing them simultaneously to take away our right to speak, to espouse our own thoughts and ideas. So what is that? That sounds like fascism to me. And let's be real. A lot of y'all out there, you're doing a lot of fake virtue signaling publicly when you know a hell of a lot of y'all voted for Donald Trump. I know you did. I know you did. Why? Because the numbers, they're showing it. The exit polling is showing it. We saw the biggest shift to the right, voting red, I think in history, this election. And do you know which state showed the biggest shift towards the right? Of all the states in the United States, the biggest shift towards the right that we saw was, no, not Cali. Nope. New York. You know what was number 2? New Jersey. Something's happening here, folks. People are waking up. California, I think, was like number 4 or number 5. So it's still, it's a huge state. It's a lot of freaking people. New York almost flipped. They could have flipped red. It almost did. I think it was like 44.8%, something like that for Trump. That's pretty damn close, considering this is New York. It's almost like the TCJA worked to punish the blue. Oh, cut it out, Robert. I'll get to you in a minute. And here's the funny thing. There are a lot of leftists that I've gotten really cool with. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. Can't we all just disagree on policies and still be friends at the end? Is it possible that the powers that be, that this government, the establishment, those who are in power, who continue to enrich themselves to the tune of millions of dollars per elected official, meaning that they go in as having $500 in the bank and in their savings, and they come out like $28 million richer? Is it possible that those people have an interest in keeping us divided and hating each other so that we're not paying attention to what they're doing? Is it possible? Is it possible that if we all disagree respectfully with each other, but still remain friends at the end of the day, and we target we train our focus on those who are designated to govern on our behalf? Would it be better if we maybe do that maybe we'll see a difference? Maybe if we hold our elected officials accountable, like if they, oh shit, somebody said, nah, that's crazy talk. Yeah, holding them accountable, that's crazy. What? Why should we hold our Congress accountable? No, we're team blue. No, we're team red. Go with the team. Forget what you need. It's what the political parties say you need, which is what they need. We got to get smarter. We got to get smarter. So Jason says, anytime America is broken, it's better for dictators. I agree. I absolutely agree. Can you please add me back on TikTok, Tony? I sent you a message in the Discord. Oh, I don't know what happened. Sorry. Tony, will you be doing what Trump said live today? What did Trump say? Oh, I think that was something about the Gulf of Mexico turning into the Gulf of the Gulf of America. Bro, listen, I don't know. I gotta look into that. I didn't see enough of it, but I don't know. Politics are getting funny. But yeah, so I'm with this segment, I'm done, but I'm gonna see. Here's it. You guys know I also do a lot of TikTok lives. So I do have some folks on my TikTok right here next to me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull them in and I'm going to continue the stream here because we have we have good conversation on my TikTok lives, and it bothers me sometimes because I can't go live on Instagram or Facebook with these sorts of conversations because they immediately take it down, and TikTok is horrible as well. But overall, I am very excited to see what comes after Donald Trump's inauguration as it pertains to free speech, because this years long push against our right to free speech is one of the greatest dangers that I would argue, one of the greatest dangers that we have faced in this country in modern history. Because if you are not allowed to speak the truth as you know it, if you Robert, stop! Don't make me mute you. Every time I look over there, Robert is saying some snide shit. But anyway, every time when your government tries to take away your right to free speech, I mean, how do you know that there's a problem if you're not allowed to say it? How can you learn if the other person who has information for you is not allowed to provide you with that information? How can you learn? How can any of us learn? So whoever controls your access to information, that person ultimately controls you because they control your decisions. Because all of your decisions are based upon the limited and or skewed or false information that they provide to you. That's an area where you cannot compromise. The First and Second Amendment, especially, well, fourth as well, fifth, eighth. But I'll say the First and Second Amendment are probably the two most important as it pertains to our freedom. I think the second should actually be the first, but you get it. You must protect our inalienable, God-given rights to protection and freedom. If you don't have autonomy over your own body, how do you have freedom? What are mandates? If you support mandates, you're part of the problem. If you support censorship of things that you don't agree with, or even things that are false, then you are part of the problem. Free speech absolutism is the only way, because no one gets to I'll say this: the government should never be deemed the arbiter of truth, ever. And anyone who cedes authority to their government to determine what is right and what is wrong, you're a weak person or incredibly ignorant. Be smart, be wise, and don't allow your government to continue to get you to act against your own best interests because you're afraid. Because the easiest road, the fastest road to compliance, the swiftest road to compliance is fear. The easiest way to get you to cooperate is to scare the shit out of you. That's why if you fly anywhere in this country, you see the security in the airports, all of the bullshit you have to go through. That was only supposed to be for 2 weeks after 9/11. But every time they slip in all these new rules under the guise of protection, they find a way to keep it. Every time you compromise just a bit of your freedom in exchange for protection, your government is going to hold on to that freedom that they took away from you. They're not going to give it back to you. So when you continue to sacrifice bits and bits of your liberty, bits and bits of your freedom over time, you're going to realize that you don't even have much left. That's it. Now, let me switch over to TikTok, because how do I get this up? All right, let me pull it up. Boom. All right, let me silence this. Boom. Now you should be able to hear me. Let me know if you hear me on Facebook, on the other platforms. I think you hear me now. I think everything should be clear right now. So free speech or free press is not allowed, blah, 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 blah. Hold on. Musical. Let me know if you can hear me now. Tony, I can't hear you, brother. I think you guys can hear me now. Okay, got it. You can hear me now. Gotcha. Okay, good. Loud and clear on Rumble. Okay. Let's go. The live is frozen on Rumble. Come on, y'all. Listen, well, I'm here on TikTok. Try uploading a video about Luigi Mangione. TikTok takes it down immediately. Yeah, that's the censorship. Yeah, that's the censorship that we go through. Yeah, so I want to know how you guys feel about Mark Zuckerberg's announcement today. That's what I want to hear. Okay. One second. Let me make sure. And David. Okay. Good afternoon.
I almost said good morning, but I guess we're close enough. I'm in California. It's still technically morning.
Okay. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm a teacher on break. I can't ask for much more right now.
Oh, okay. So did you guys hear about Mark Zuckerberg's announcement this morning?
Actually, yeah, I was here for your whole live and talking through it and everything. I appreciate you going through and stopping and pausing. And this is how we watch all of the debates and speeches. We stop and pause and yell at the TV and then listen to some more.
Yeah, I might have annoyed some people. I don't care because I wanted to break down all of the things that he was saying, because I've been saying for a while that, you know, I think that a lot of people have very strong cases, lawsuits, civil cases against these social media platforms. And I don't know if you guys remember, I said I was going down to the district court to file a notice of claim against them before the 20th, because you're going to see a lot of flip-flopping. You're going to see a lot of capitulation now, a lot of bending the knee. So I think it's smart if we file those suits before Donald Trump gets into office.
Actually, yeah, that was one of the things I put in the comments is like, as Zuckerberg's talking, it's like, you know, the other side's just going to say, oh, Musk got to him, President Musk, or Trump got to him, or, you know, they're going to say he was pressured, he was bribed, he was bought. And I'm thinking, you know, when Zuckerberg started Facebook and all that, he was a kid. Like, he was an easy target for the shady people to go, it's not real good for our country if you let these things go. Maybe we should kind of maybe push some of those aside. I'm sure let's censor all of America. And he said, okay, but he was a kid with a whole lot of new cash in his pocket. And I think he was an easy target for shady people. And now, as maybe a grown person who's experienced,
I don't think he was censoring people like that when the company just started. I think this is a fairly new development.
Yeah,
that went
as a kid that started the company, it was a social thing. Let's all talk. But then when they saw it as an easy target because of who he is. Say if Soros or Musk were running it, they would not be targeted in the same way as a 20-something-year-old kid who's newly rich and has this new toy to play with.
Right. Hey, David, what do you think? David, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm here. Sorry. I was off taking my puppy out to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so that's why I decided to go live today to talk about that. I woke up to see, free speech is back. So yeah, I'm going to test that out. I
heard about that this morning. Yeah, I can't believe now. We have yet to see if he's actually going to come through with this and what it's going to really look like.
Yeah, the how is concerning.
Yeah, so it's kind of with a grain of salt. It sounds all great and wonderful, but let's take it, I guess, one day at a time and see what actually we end up with.
Right, but clearly he's trying to model it. I think they're basically using X as the model, which I already knew that this was going to happen. But the thing is, what does that mean over the next few months? We're going to phase out and phase in. What does that mean? You're not going to lift all the shadow banning of people, or what exactly does that mean? We're going to give you some of your free speech back at a little bit at a time. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, they need to go back to the way it was and kind of start over from scratch, basically. Rebuild the algorithms from the ground up, throw out the old, bring in a new.
I thought that might be what they're considering with TikTok. And if the American company gets it, doesn't get the Chinese algorithm, well, maybe they're thinking they can do that, do some kind of build it up or make it better. But when he was talking about we had some people doing the checking and they were politically biased, and then we had we have computers and they miss things. It's I get called uneducated and stupid all the time, but then my comment got flagged and taken down because I told somebody remain ignorant if you must or if you insist. Yes. And it's computers is the mass solution that doesn't work, and individuals are the specified solution that doesn't work.
Right. But here's the thing, and this is why it gets complicated. I would even say for Mark Zuckerberg and other CEOs of these tech companies. What happened to all the people who were banned, who were shadow banned, who had their accounts disappeared, throttled down? The people who had millions of followers, people who had hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of followers, who were silenced. Because guess what? It's demonetized. And that's the main point, because it's not just that you silenced those people, you took their money.
Yeah, a lot of people. That's what I put in the comments when you said, "Did you see that?" I was like, "I saw it." That's a lot of court cases he just gave people access to. Just by admitting that he was pressured, they affected their livelihood if they were being in any way making. I've never used social media to make money. I'm ADHD. I don't have that much focus to do it. But if they say even just a few $100, that's a car payment right there. And I lost my car because I couldn't make my payment.
And imagine the people who are getting thousands of dollars per week or even per day on these social media platforms. I don't think Mark Zuckerberg realizes, bro, you were just giving witness testimony to the whole world. You just did that.
Used against all the platforms. Yeah.
If he didn't realize, If he
And
didn't
this is
realize
why,
his lawyer
or
told him
maybe
right
he
after.
did. Hold on. But what I'm saying is, I think it's important for everyone here. Make sure that you copy that video. You have all of it, because
Save
you're
it.
gonna want to play that shit in your lawsuit. Because I know I'm going to play it in the midst of my lawsuit, and it's going to be part of my discovery. Like, I'm
Save it
telling
to
you
like
that.
save it to like 3 different flash drives for when they quote unquote lose the one, and then quote unquote the other one gets technically messed up. Have it on like 3 or 4 different flash drives.
Yep.
And I have family in law enforcement. Don't come at me at that. Like literally, I'm not trying to diss any law enforcement. Like, but in court cases and all that, I watch way too much real TV, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Things tend to disappear if they're inflammatory.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it to Big Mike, because he went and he did file a lawsuit at the district court. He went. I know he filed a notice of claim, and like I said, I suggest that everyone do that. Listen. I don't care if you had $5 in your TikTok balance or whatever. File a lawsuit, because it's not even just the monies, that like the tangible monies that you lost. It's also the potential that they took away from you, because there are a lot of people who use social media for entrepreneurial endeavors. They use social media for the monetization aspect. They're trying to build an audience, build a client base. I know people who do this. Like, a lot of social media is the vehicle to wealth for a lot of people. So when you, number one, when you take away their voice and their followers, that's like I'm running a business and I have I got like the whole neighborhood. And then you just go out and you just, I don't know, you find some way to snatch all my clients away from me and you ruin me. That's what they just did with a lot of these content creators. So you have the right to go after the monetary damages, the potential. Now, when I say, and it's not just the immediate monetary damages, it's the monies that they took away from you that you could have made as well, based on your estimates, your projections. Remember, when you have a business plan, you put together a business plan, you're going to have projections, right? So it's the same thing that applies to this. Also, we're talking about there should be punitive damages as well. There's a lot of suffering, emotional harm. We can't argue that there isn't like severe emotional harm that people have experienced due to this. Civil litigation is very different. Civil litigation is very different than criminal, because the standard of evidence is quite different. I'm telling you guys, y'all need to go out there. Don't say I didn't tell you.
Just
I've
ask
been
Donald
saying
Trump.
this. Right. Good point.
He gave him that in his statement too, about the mental, when he said everybody's arguing about it, and it's like, you could just go back and find all of these things about, disowning family and don't go together at holidays. Like, all of that is the tail end of the censorship start, because then on my facts, I posted facts. No, my facts. But they had
families apart. It did.
It did.
Yeah. So that's basically.
That's a good point. Yeah. Think of it that way. All this unrest and this us at each other's throats and everything else, and splitting families apart and all that kind of stuff, all has to get wrapped into it.
It's exactly what they want, though. They want us arguing with each other instead of looking at what they're doing.
Right. Look over here, not over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyone else wants to come up?
There was people in the comments talking about doing lawsuits and stuff. So I just want to point out to those people that Tony had said to also name the government in the lawsuit, not just Zuckerberg. Tony, you want to talk about that?
Yeah,
right, absolutely.
I don't know if you need to name FBI especially, because they were the ones who were heavily involved.
Right. And that's the thing, throughout, and I'm talking about going back as far as the Twitter files. As far as evidence, like there's been a lot of evidence that was thrown out there where you can see where the legacy media was complicit in trying to give a false impression that
and that was the same exact word for word narrative.
I was just gonna say that. Did you see the TikToks where they lay them over each other and echo each other? It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I'm on X. I get all my news from X now. I mean, because I get it days earlier than I see it anywhere else.
Right. So I just think there's a lot of evidence out there that proves the corruption and the collusion on the part of the government. There are a lot of former Intel agency employees who are currently employed. Employed at TikTok now.
Oh, right.
You know,
well, there's also whistleblowers that are former Intel officials that are saying, "Hey, we did this."
Yeah, I just think that we have to prepare. That we got to prepare for all of the flood, the massive flood of new information that is about to come out, that is going to validate a lot of what we've been talking about over the past few years. And hold on, and what I want us to do is take one thing that we always do. We never get a jump on this shit. We always come to the party late. That's why I've been saying this to you guys for months now. File your lawsuits. I'm telling you, get ahead of this so that when the shit hits the fan, you're already in there and you're already going to be entitled to some form of relief. Don't sit back and wait till this shit happens and say, yeah, good for them. Yeah, they did it to me too. Next thing you know, you're joining some class action lawsuit where you're going to get a $5 recovery. Nope. I'm filing my own lawsuit. I'm filing for punitive damages. I'm filing for real damages. And bro, I'm telling you, I'm filing for tens of millions of dollars because I'm not just some slouch. I'm not just some slouch.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Get that. Get all that. Get all of it. See? Go take it all the way to the hoop.
Yeah,
baby.
and if you need extra information and stuff, follow on X Matt Taibbi, Michael Schellenberger.
Yes.
Who's the other one from the New York Times? What's her name?
He's talking about Barry Weiss. You're talking about the
Barry
Twitter
Weiss,
files, though.
yes, Barry Weiss. They have all the information on their X accounts with links to their articles and everything.
Or you can go to their Substack as well, because after that dust up between Elon and Matt, Matt has been very active on Substack. I follow him on Substack as well. I actually have a Substack as well where I write op-eds, just so you guys know. But yeah, Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger, I would say in particular, they are. Whoa!
But what can you actually go after?
And Glenn Greenwald, but not just for the Twitter files.
Yeah.
What can you go after? Who for? The government or
like what type of lawsuits can you go after them for?
Well, okay, well,
infringement
if you're talking
of civil liberty,
right? Okay, if you're all right. When we talk about like the violation of your civil rights, right? Yep. That you're naming the U.S. government in that. But the thing is, you can also name these tech platforms that did that to you as
co-defendants, because they were third-party
co-defendants. Well, I don't want to use the word defendants, but co-respondents, additional respondents, right? Because they were complicit in it. They were complicit in it. They carried it out in the name of the government. They carried it out as extensions of the government. So they're complicit. You understand? Now that's one as it pertains to the civil rights violation, but it's more than that, because I would also encourage that you pursue separate lawsuits directly against these social media platforms for now I'm talking about the value of taking away your like the monetization, your following, because all of people don't understand that the more of a follower base that you build up, the more potential for income. Right. That's just what it is on social media. Yeah. And these people didn't think too far. So if I had a million followers, and I put out, let's say I put out an ebook and I had 1 million followers, and I said, hey, my ebook is $9.99, folks, go out and buy it. But if you go by you go by analytics, like my analytics, like if you got like a 3% turnover rate, right? 3% engagement rate, that was considered pretty high, right? So what's 3%? What I said 1 million. So that's like $30,000, right? So $30,000 I could have made, let's say, with a low engagement rate, just from those 1 million followers, and I put out that ebook. But my engagement rate was more than 10%. That's great. Yes. So so from that one little ebook, they could have taken $100,000 away from me that I could have made probably immediately in a day or two. So I want you guys to understand the value of your social media platforms and how these people can take away potential income from you.
Yep,
Man,
it's all about reach. It's all
I should have been a lawyer.
Yep, it's all about the reach, and it's also all about the hard work you put in to build that following.
Yes. Yes. By the way, anyone who's watching on Rumble or X or Facebook or Instagram, I can see your comments, so you can continue to comment. I just have to look over here to see it.
One person in the comments was asking about, like, so who do they sue? And I would think that it would be the individual, like you'd have one lawsuit against one company at a time, or would you put them all as co-respondents in one lawsuit together?
I think you can do. I think you can. I mean, I think you can do it all. I like separate lawsuits. But,
I would too.
Me personally.
I would think that each one had its own offense. You know, like this one did a little bit more than that one, so you want to sue that one a little bit more. But is that
Kim says you can't sue China. You can sue TikTok. TikTok is based in Texas. You can sue TikTok, and also China doesn't own TikTok. People keep saying that. ByteDance has a stake in China, but it is not the owner of TikTok.
And if we want to talk about owners, let's trace the owners of the mainstream media. If we want to talk about owners,
they all think they know some shit, right? Everybody thinks they know some shit.
Yeah, sometimes it gets frustrating trying to debate with people who just don't know. And I'm not even saying that to the person in the chat, because you could probably just be wrong. But my experience has been that you spend a lot of time on social media debating with people who are committed to misunderstanding you and who don't even care about the facts. So to me, that amounts to a waste of time. Like I love a lot of y'all folks out there. I got a lot of good friends out here. But they try to always shame me out of my opinion or say, oh, you're this or you're Trump. I don't care. That stuff doesn't bother me, bro. Listen, it's the truth that matters to me. If you have some factual information that can challenge what I'm saying or correct me or enlighten me to more, cool. I'm happy with that. But all of that extra dumb stuff and wasting my time, we gotta get out of this professional time wasting that we have been falling victim to. Stop falling victim to professional time wasters. That's probably the biggest thing that we've been doing, which is why I keep saying we got to focus on making sure that the agenda of the incoming administration goes through. Now, a lot of what Donald Trump has promised to do, I am on board with it. I am excited about the people that he has brought in, like RFK Jr., like Tulsi Gabbard, like what's this guy's name?
The FBI
Kash Patel. Kash Patel.
I got zero problems with Hexed.
Yeah, like these people don't even know.
He's draining the swamp, T. He's draining the swamp.
I like your enthusiasm, James. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I'm just on my lunch break, so I got a little bit. But Trump just announced in the middle of a press conference for somebody else that if the hostages aren't back by the day he's sworn in, all hell will break loose in the Middle East. Yeah, he said, and they said, "What does that mean?" And he said, "Try me."
Try me. That's right.
He said, "I don't have to elaborate anymore." And he goes, "Go ahead with the press conference."
He said, "FAFO."
See, but I mean, I ain't gonna lie. That's the way you're supposed to do it, though.
When he says that, he's not playing.
I was gonna say it's like the parent who threatens to spank but doesn't.
That's what I was gonna say.
And then there's the parent who says, "You really want to go there?" You're like, "Nope, I'm sorry."
Yep, wait and find out. Go ahead.
Yep.
That's me. Like, so you gotta respect that.
Remember when Biden was like, "I got one word for you: don't."
Hold on.
And we all laughed.
And then they did it anyway. And he's like, "Don't do it again."
Okay, hold on. So Particular Touch says nobody is scared of this man but you all. Particular Touch, can you come up and explain that? Can you come up and explain that? Because this is an example of the professional time wasting that I talk about. People who go into the comment section, they say
you saw
dumb
what happened
shit.
with Trudeau. Trudeau came down from Canada to Mars. As a desperate need to work with the American government.
Right.
Well, it's not even bending the knee. It benefits him. And obviously Trump didn't do a deal with him. And he had to resign 2 months later. So we are powerful, and you are scared to not do a deal with America.
I
The
don't
last thing I'll
understand.
say, because I got to get off here.
Sean's talking about the Gulf of America. I'm
Okay,
like,
all right,
yes.
Tom.
Yeah.
Appreciate
So
you, Tom.
all this worried
Oh, go ahead.
about ByteDance, all this worried about selling, there's two things going to happen. And finance people have talked about it all week. They're either one going to sell for $50 billion or so, or the government's going to stop pursuing it. There's not a complete shutdown, and they're not going to take everyone's accounts. So that's just give everyone a peace of mind.
Yeah, but Tom, you got to be clear though. Even if they do sell it, people need to understand that what they sell is not going to be the current version of TikTok that you all experience. That's important, because ByteDance has already made it very clear that no sale of TikTok will include their algorithm, which is what we are all enjoying here. So yes, they can sell TikTok, but just be clear, China owns that algorithm. So I'm just letting y'all know. So they've already made it clear. We don't care. You go ahead and you sell it, but it's not going with our tech. So that's the point. So I just want to make it clear.
It's going to be a lease back. It's going to be a lease back, Tony. So what's going to happen is my majority share will go to someone else, and then they'll have a leasing contract with the algorithm back to ByteDance. So they'll pay like however much a month to use that.
I can see that happening. I can see that happening if it's profitable. If there's money, I mean, because at the end of the day, it's about money, right? So so basically, someone can come in and buy it, but they're not buying it with that algorithm. What they would have to do is work out a separate deal with ByteDance for it. But here's the thing: doesn't that become the same thing that they've been talking about as far as a foreign government threatening national security by doing that business with that algorithm? You see what I'm saying? So
you're gonna lease it, and then you're gonna replicate it, and then you're gonna cut that lease, just like Apple, just like any software company does. You're gonna buy it, you're gonna understand the algorithm and recreate it.
You're not necessarily gonna understand that algorithm. They're going to try to, and they're gonna come up with some generic bullshit, no frills brand. I mean, no matter, I get what you're saying, Tom, but they're not getting that algorithm. That's what I'm saying. ByteDance, China is clear, you're not getting the algorithm. And even if they did lease it to them, you think China doesn't have fail safes in there where you can't copy or their tech or whatever? Yeah, come on, like that's not gonna happen. I just think at the end of the day, that whole legislation should have been reversed, overturned, whatever, dropped. Something. It's gonna have to be a legislative solution to me, from what I see. It never should have been included in that bill in the first place, because we know why it was slipped in there.
Yeah. All right. I'm getting off here. Good live, Tony.
All right, Tom. Tom, thanks. Talk to you soon. We still got business to talk. But yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Take care. Hey, Miss Nika.
Hello, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. So I was listening earlier and when you first came on, and I was just, I got to catch up now. Let me just say that I got to kind of catch up. But I'm very curious just to see how this whole thing is going to turn out. I agree with you. If they do sell it, it's not like they sell it the whole package like it is now. It'll be a dummy version, and it's not going to work the same. It's just like starting over on the app. So, but
it won't be the same. It won't be the same, and people are going to be like, man. And I think so many people are getting turned off anyway. The benefit of platforms like TikTok is the ability to gain followers and to monetize. That's the most important thing, right? To be able to monetize, and the way to the vehicle by which you monetize is how user friendly it is, how entertaining it is, and how organic your ability is to gain followers. That has disappeared. That has disappeared on TikTok. So
it really has. And for people that are new, because like I consider myself new because I came in the last year, right? So I'm that person
me too.
To everybody about how to gain more followers or how to do this and how to make more money. And it's like an insane encyclopedia of craziness, right? Of the rules that they have to grow.
Right.
But you're right. And I feel like it's been so unfair to the left side. Again, I posted a video on Trump and I saw my views drastically decrease. You know, even my sales
they demonetized me. when Trump put out that video announcing that he was going to take down the censorship industrial complex, I posted part of it on my TikTok. I did a video about it. They demonetized me for I think 2 months. Oh no, a month. They demonetized me for a month.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I don't know. I'm like you. I'm skeptical, but at the same time, I'm hopeful. So
I don't trust Mark Zuckerberg, but I do trust that he's going to try to do what's in his best interest, which is for the time being, try to ease himself in there and ease up on some of the censorship. Do I think he's gonna just reverse course and go back to, you know, doing things with allowing free speech, wholesale and blah blah blah? I don't think that at all. And I think what he's more so preoccupied with doing right now is shifting the blame, because every public statement that man has put out since Trump won that election has been to cover his own ass. CYOA.
And he knows that they had him by the you know,
short and curlies.
They had him, and he's such a coward. He's got no integrity, that like he knew he was straight punked and bullied into doing whatever they made him do. That now he's like he knows he allowed them to step way
Hold on,
too far.
Go ahead, particular touch. Good to see you're a real person. What's up?
What, I'm supposed to be a fake person or something?
What happened?
I say, what, I'm supposed to be a fake person or something?
Hell yeah, there's a lot of fake people in the chat, bots.
No, I done spoke on one of your lives before. You dropped me.
What? Hello?
You mentioned about, you don't hear me?
No, you're breaking up.
You don't hear me?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
I say, yeah, I said, I was just speaking in terms about the lie when you were speaking about how Trump supposed to do for us, the people, when he gave the threat about if the Israel, what he gonna do if by the time if it ain't made it in office, if it ain't done. And like I was saying, man, these people around the country ain't scared of that, man. This man was in office. The thing about that is y'all forget to think that during the whole time he was in office the last time, it wasn't like he was hiding under some secret code or something. People couldn't see and hear how he was acting or how he was interacting with this country. He had, like I said earlier in the text, he had governors here in the country when he couldn't even get them in compliance with him. So how people around the world supposed to look at him like he's some boss and supposed to have this fear of him?
So your argument is nobody wasn't cooperating with Trump here in the United States. So how do we expect people across the world to respect him? Is that basically what you're saying?
He's a laughing stock. People look at us, at this country, and wonder how in the world this man even got him voted back in office.
What? Right. So you think the United States is the laughing stock basically of the world because
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Anybody who saw this man in office the first time he was in there, and the fact that this country elected this man back in office, man, you can't say and look at us. We need to be in a Marvel comic book somewhere, some kind of Andean igloo, some kind of thing, man. This country crazy.
My man, did you not see what this shit looked like for the past 4 years, bro?
And did you not see how it looked before that?
So
yes.
I'll support particular a little bit because I do have friends in Europe and I often ask them, dare I ask how we look over there? What are they saying? And there's a lot of countries in Europe that their news is more factual. And so, not a whole lot of context is given. We do look ridiculous to them a lot of
times. Let me tell you something.
No, the argument is not that we don't look ridiculous. Hold on.
I want to say, on the other hand, the other part of his argument was about the previous term. And
brother, you got to mute.
Oh, no.
it's not comparable to look at his previous term when we've already established that it did not go the way he or we wanted it to with the people he had, and he chose the wrong people, all that. So it's like you can't compare it to his previous term and say it's
let me simplify this. No, the world does look at the United States as laughing stocks, but it is because of the clear dysfunction of this government, especially everything that we've witnessed over the last 4 years, and you cannot ignore.
But it started before that.
Bro, hold on. You cannot ignore the heavy hand in this that has been played by Western media and propaganda, and this is the problem. We get a lot of people who form their opinions based on what their media tells them. Right. In the United States of America, we are the most propagandized people on the planet. Particularly, you got mad noise in your background, brother. So you got to press mute while you're not talking and only unmute when you are talking, because you got a lot of noise coming from your background, bro. If you could just,
I don't know what, because it's just me. So, but that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if you actually listen to real news media, if you listen to real news media outside of just Western media, it's sad, but you're probably going to get a more accurate view. But I can tell you that people are celebrating that Donald Trump victory all over the world. Why? Because of the impact that we have seen since he left office globally, just in the global conflicts, in the record inflation that we've seen in this country, and also as it applies across the world. A lot of people trying to say, oh, COVID. No, it was not just COVID, especially in this country, because we were already in an economic recovery after COVID. Joe Biden and what he did when he got in office is what sent us over the cliff of inflation. And the man, let's be real, the man is in cognitive, the man got dementia. Come on. The man he probably don't even know where he is half of the time. And the reason why you don't see any progress with what's going on with Russia, let's be real. Why hasn't he spoken to Vladimir Putin in 2 years? Do you think he's capable of having a conversation with Vladimir Putin, an adversary? Do you really think they're going to sit Joe Biden down in a room with Vladimir Putin to actually have a conversation? Bro, that would be the end. Listen, you can hide Joe Biden in the basement all you want, but the point is he's not the one running this country. And we are a joke. We're a joke because of all of the decisions that have been made over the past 4 years, where they opened the floodgates and inviting 140-something countries to just come on in the door while we giving them welfare and everything at our expense. Bro, like, how are you saying that that Donald Trump is not respected? Let me tell you something. He may not be liked, but he's fucking respected. I don't need you to like me, but you damn sure are going to respect me. And that's what I like. I prefer to have someone who is the president of the United States that when he walks in the room, everybody's like, oh, shit, here comes this guy. I like that. I don't want someone when they walk in the room, they're and people are making fun of you. Bro, we are not respected on the world stage, period. If you just look, they have satires and commercials and all of these things. We are being made fun of across the globe. And not even to mention all of the deliberate escalation that we are seeing as far as even Russia's concerned. All of these escalations, you're seeing this because there's no fucking authority that is coming from the United States. We're not respected. And you're putting that at the feet of Donald Trump. Hold on. But you're putting that at the feet of Donald Trump, who under his administration, there were no new wars. Yeah, there were conflicts. There's been conflicts for the longest, but there were no new wars. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump had heavier sanctions on Russia than anybody else, but you wouldn't know that. Why? Because the media was telling you he was a Russian stooge and a puppet, pushing up this Steele dossier bullshit that was a lie that the Hillary Clinton campaign made up. Do you even know what the Durham report is? I think you've been a little bit disingenuous, man.
Bro, Do you even?
I really think you.
facts?
I really think you. I really think you've been a little bit
Oh
disingenuous.
my God!
Hold on. Explain.
And I say that because
Tony, this
of
is the stuff
the
I'm
fact.
talking about, bro. This is
Because I believe
You believe.
the thing like I mentioned earlier. You to say that it all started 4 years ago, man. You. That's why I say, man. That's why I can't take
It all
serious the stuff
started
that
4
y'all
years
say,
ago.
man.
What did I
No,
say?
it didn't,
All
bro.
sta-
No, it didn't, Mr.
What?
Man. It started back when Trump first took office.
What
It
started?
started
Okay.
when Trump
What?
first
Tell
took
me what.
office,
Tell me what
man.
started. Go ahead. Tell me what started.
The disrespect and the lack of respect for this country when Trump took office, man. I'm talking about it wasn't a month in before this man got in office, man. I mean, that's why I say, man, I don't think
But
you guys really take it to heart. Listen,
You're not listening. I agree with you. Hold on. I agree with you that's when you started to see other countries not having respect for the country. But what did I say? Who did I say had the heaviest hand in that? Were you listening?
you said Joe Biden, but no, Trump had the heavier hand in that.
Okay, can someone enlighten this man who's not listening on who I said is responsible?
The media.
No, the media. Listen, man, and I was getting ready to say that before you cut me off. You see, you seem to think that y'all seem to think it's about what the media says and these small little things that they show.
It's not.
After he was Trump, y'all got to understand. Trump is a 78, 80-some-year-old man that gets up and he speaks. And regardless of whether you want to admit it or not,
Oh my God,
he don't follow no. He don't follow no. He don't.
Oh man, this is Democrats for you.
He don't follow no pump.
This is why y'all lost. This is why you lost.
He don't follow no pump.
This is why Trump won.
Yeah, you can call it whatever you want to. See, this is why. This is why I say. This is why I say. See, he don't follow no prompts when he get up and speak. He get up there and he speak and he say what he says whatever comes out of his mouth, and then it takes you to come behind him to try to explain what he said.
Oh wait, stop! Everybody, stop for a second. Just stop. Okay. He says whatever he says, and it takes for us to come behind him and try to explain him to say,
right? To try to explain. But
okay,
the man is 78, 80 years old, and he know what he said.
All right. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm not saying he didn't know what he said. Why? See, you're making my point because you know why so many people have to come behind him and explain and re-explain what he said. Take a guess. Can anyone take a guess besides particular?
Yeah. Don't listen.
Yeah.
Because they're not listening.
No,
because y'all cherry pick.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
Hold on. No, okay, stop. I'm gonna do showtime. Stop. Someone said it in the comment section. The media. This is exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Yep. The media is the one who told you that he was praising neo-Nazis. The media is the one who told you that he was threatening a bloodbath on the country. The media is the one who was telling you that he's a Triple K member and all of this stuff. It's the media who is lying to you. And that is why.
So you don't think I heard?
I'm not going to let you do it. I'm not going to let you cut me off. And what happens is when you're forced to always be on the defensive all the time and to explain to people, no, this is not what I said. This is what the media is telling you. Like I'm going to be a dictator when he was clearly talking about on day one, he's going to close the borders and he's going to reopen drilling in this country while Joe Biden is trying to ban it. The point is that when you are constantly on the defensive because you have an entire media apparatus that is lying to the people of this country about what you're saying, you never really have, don't huff and puff because you could drop down if you want. This is probably why I dropped you before, because you don't want to hear, you don't want to be corrected. You don't want to hear actual information. Because when you always got to defend yourself from lies.
I'll drop out because you're full of shit, because you ain't going to come real.
All right, then go ahead, drop down. Bye. But that's fine. I'll talk to the rest of the people who are actually listening. And this is what I mean about professional time wasting. When you're forced to always have to defend yourself from lies, you never actually get the opportunity to even continue to build upon the things that you are saying. They do this to keep you on the defensive, so no one ever gets to focus on the truth of your words. That's it. And guess who that panders to? Guess who that panders to? People like that same person who was just up here talking about you lying and you disingenuous and blah 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 blah. That's your typical Democrat voter. They don't give a fuck about facts. All they care about is feelings. I don't care about your feelings. Focus on the facts. Because guess what? If you start to focus on the facts, you don't really care about a person's personality. You don't. Okay, let me get this troll out of here, but because oh Lord have mercy.
And Tony, can
I forgot on TikTok. This is the troll factory. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the thing I was saying is that when I say he doesn't listen, I mean he doesn't listen to Trump. Most of these people have never listened to Trump actually speak. I know this because he don't speak lesser than an hour and a half. They can't stand listening to his voice for 5 minutes. So I know everything that you've heard from the media, which you have not yet to understand is a paid source coming from someone who works in media. So at the end of the day, you have never listened to Trump, which is why somebody like yourself, myself, everybody else has to explain to you what he means.
Hey, Miss Nika, I just added you as a moderator. So, because sometimes it gets hard for me to like moderate, like block people in the comments, block the trolls.
Gotcha. So
if you see people trolling and you know, coon and racist shit and dumb shit, you have my full permission. Yeah, just get them out of here because we don't. This space is not for that.
Tony, I can handle that too if you want to add me.
Oh, okay, cool. Got you. Yeah. Like I know it's entertaining for some people. You know, you got the trolls coming in there trying to start a fight and say some reckless shit so everybody can go to war with each other. But that is what I literally did a video on this the other day on my Rumble. That's rage baiting. Rage baiting is the way to keep you not focused on the things that matter. They interrupt the conversation and then they cleverly take it. You could be laser focused on going this way, but then the rage baiter comes in. Next thing you know, you're over here, and then another rage baiter gets involved, and now you're going that way, and you've missed the target. This is what the legacy media has done. This is what these NGOs, these companies like Pallet Management, the one that was sending out all of these bots to fuck with you in on these lives.
And Harry
Sissons, the Parkers, the Dean, and all these people. These people have a job to do. And it is to lie to you and keep you off tangent so that you never focus on the real information. That's why when these people come in here, they always talk about feelings, but they never have any facts. And the moment you tell them facts, they ignore it. They just skip over it. They hop right over it and just go to the next talking point.
Or here's the new thing.
They're talking points. They're not actual information. They're talking points.
Instead of focusing on the fact, the new thing is they point at the person who's shining the light on the problem and saying, I don't like that person, don't believe that person, or that's the wrong network. And they ignore the problem and start attacking the person who pointed out the problem.
Hey, Miss Nika, be careful. I think you just muted Riri by accident.
I didn't touch anything.
You didn't?
No, I didn't touch anything. Well, maybe. Who is Riri?
Damn, who the hell? Who muted Riri? That must have been an accident.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. Is there a Ronnie? Somebody made a comment about they watched all of the speeches that Harris and Tim Walz did, and they weren't ever talking about anything. And so it's crazy when they always say I voted for them because of their policies. Because when did you hear them? Like literally, because I listened too, and I never heard any.
Right.
That's another one of my Nika said.
Desiree muted you. Desiree, no, that might, maybe that was an accident. Desiree, maybe her finger skipped. But yeah, Desiree, yeah, don't mute her. Maybe that was an accident. Sorry. Yeah, let's be careful because let me make it clear. Because as I said, I'm a free speech absolutist, right? So that means you are entitled to your opinions. I don't care. You could disagree with me fervently. That's great. But the moment you start calling people coons and and Sambos and all of that type of dumb shit, you're gone. You're blocked. So I'm just going to say that now. So any moderator on this account, those people, get rid of them immediately. All right. But, you know, people can speak in this space. I want everyone to be heard. Is somebody snoring?
My dog might be. It's my dog.
It's usually
My dog's
dog.
next to me.
That's
My dog
awesome.
snores like a freight train.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mine too. Mine too. Mhm.
Oh, shit.
I'll mute unless I'm speaking then.
It's usually
right.
my dog that be snoring all loud. So I'm glad it wasn't me this time.
Yeah. And yes, if you guys can mute when you're not speaking, that would help. But
Yeah,
hey,
I've got a
Russ,
soundboard, so I can mute it from my soundboard.
I was just
okay.
gonna back up Miss Nika and what she was saying. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought because the dog thing was so funny.
I'm sorry.
I have a half lab, half pit. She could vibrate the room with her snores.
Oh my gosh, I have a
Yeah, I hear him.
Cavalier
remember
King
now.
Charles, and he snores
Oh,
like
goodness.
crazy.
Wow, you're not kidding. So I was gonna say, Miss Nika was saying about how they don't even listen to Trump, and I have to back you up on that because as a moderate, I listen to both, and as an English teacher, they are physically painful to listen to. Like both of them, Trump and Harris, are not great speakers, orators. They're both physically painful to listen to, but I sat through it and I listened to them all. So when people try and say this, that, and the other, I'm like, no, they didn't actually say that.
Right.
You know what? That's a good point. And that's actually a very good point, because one of the criticisms that I see that come into these spaces, oh, you guys, you're cultists. Like you see no wrong in Donald Trump. No, I criticize Donald Trump regularly. Right. You know, I think he doesn't speak. He doesn't think before he speaks. You know, I think he's too
he
petty.
Absolutely doesn't.
And
Like a
I think
teenager.
yeah, right. And I think he just makes too much time for pettiness, which further distracts from, you know, I think his ego is too big. I think it's too easy to rattle. Hold on, it's too easy to rattle him, right? But it doesn't change the policy. It doesn't change my commitment or my desire to see those policies get pushed through. And we're so caught up in personality and person that we've forgotten about policy. That's the point. And it's weird to me when I see people, they say, you know, you support Donald Trump, you're a part of a cult. That's crazy, because honestly, I see Trump supporters holding Donald Trump accountable and Republicans accountable way more than I see that from Democrats. Democrats, they are one voice of censorship, one voice of entitlement and hate. And if you don't do what they say, you're a racist, or you're a phobe. You should be canceled.
Oh yeah, just look at what they do when people leave their
You should
party.
be censored. Yeah, right.
They held
Good
accountable.
example. The
So
moment I said I'm not voting for them, I'm not voting Democrat this year, boy, I was pilloried. Oh, you are a sellout. You're a coon, you Uncle Tom, even though Uncle Tom was the hero of the story, dummy. But you're a this, you're a that. And I'm like, shit, I was getting called coon by white people, white liberals were talking to me like that. And I'm like, hold up. Weren't y'all the people that were, you know, about diversity and inclusivity and all? Why y'all talking to me like this?
I comment that often.
Tolerance.
Tony,
yes, I comment that often. Oh, there's that party of joy and tolerance we keep hearing about.
Didn't Trump say that, you know, look, he came in on the first one, he didn't understand kind of what was going on. Now he's going in, obviously knowing the game. And I want people to understand, because I am in politics as well, that it is a game, my friends. There is a whole procedure. There's a game. There's a process, right? And regardless of what level, if you're on the council level, if you know, we're talking about state reps, there is a process and a game that is played, and you have to talk to people. You have to say the right things. You got to be in the right place, spots, and everything. So if politics, it's a chess game, Mel.
Like you said, every level.
Right, but the thing is, he's admitted we're forgetting that Donald Trump is not a historic. He's not a historic politician. So it's crazy to me that no one is willing to lend him not even nearly the amount of grace that they lend to, let's say, Joe Biden, who has a 50+ year track record of being a fucking liar and a racist.
Yes.
So it's crazy to me that a man with no political experience comes in, gives us a historic strong economy, whether y'all like it or not. He gave us record job numbers, 7 million, whether you like it or not. And all of a sudden, oh, he brought in the swamp, blah, blah. You know what's very unique about what I saw, what Donald Trump did, which I can't believe it, because I think it's actually unique to him. It's uncharacteristic of him. He admitted that he was wrong. And I know people with egos like him and with I would say financial status like him. When you admit that you're wrong, that's seen as a weakness in that world, especially when you're in positions of leadership, right? But to see that he actually did admit that he made that mistake and that he has learned from it and he now has the experience, he knows better, that's actually encouraging to me.
Yes.
To see that a man with an ego as big as Donald Trump could at least say, yeah, they got me. You know, the people, and let's not forget that the people he was entrusted to advise him, they lied to him. Look at what Tony Fauci did. Y'all are blaming, and this is the crazy thing, Donald Trump, look what he did with COVID. Hold on. Y'all acting like he wasn't being advised by people who were scientists and doctors. What, you just forget about them while these motherfuckers have openly admitted to lying to you or have been caught lying in front of Congress? But no, it was all Donald Trump's fault. When Donald Trump, when he shut down travel to China, to Wuhan, remember when he did that? And y'all said he was racist for him for doing that? Why are we forgetting that Donald Trump even was against the lockdowns at first? And it was all the pressure that was coming to him from the establishment that led to those short lockdowns. But where did the majority of those extended lockdowns come from? Democrat-run cities.
And got to remember, the establishment did
Why
not.
Why y'all forgetting about that?
Yep, they did not like Trump, so he was not only fighting Democrats, he was also fighting his own
fighting
party.
Republicans, rhinos.
What all black people, for all the black people that are watching that keep on saying, how can a black woman vote for Trump? Because Trump is neither Democrat or Republican. He is literally for America and the people, period. They say
that's populist.
I think it's an important
like
point, that particular guy. They don't see what you're seeing because, again, the media, all those things you say, why do we forget? Why, like, honestly, half of them were never shown in the first place because they were so limited in their information. So they've been told he did wrong, he did wrong, he did wrong, he did wrong. And then Biden is awesome. And then look at this guy who did wrong. And they never heard anything different because they stayed on the same media networks. And so, like, I don't like how Particular was trying to talk over you and that sort of thing. But I almost want to defend him. Like, it's chances are he did not see the stories that we saw.
But teacher, here's the problem with this. You want me? Let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is that let's rewind 20 years ago, and Trump was the person who financed our first black person to go and run, or not first, but that black candidate, Jesse Jackson, to go and run for president. Trump is the one who in 100 of our songs. He's in 50 of our movies. He's in all kinds of videos. Everybody wanted to go fire somebody on his show. It's not like he was widely liked in our community for years. He got
even
a NAACP award. So this man is old enough to know that our community absolutely liked this man.
Everybody knows that.
Sudden, after the media said, no, you don't, all of this 90, how many black folks voted for Democrat? 97%. All them people believed it. They automatically forgot that happened.
I mean,
because they were told not to like him because they were handed that day after day after day after day.
Wasn't Dr. Oz on ABC a very
yes, he was. He was
particular
a darling
leaning,
of Oprah Winfrey.
But as soon as he sides with the quote unquote wrong person, suddenly he's not qualified to do the things that doctors do. We don't like his ideas anymore. Like he was beloved and believed until he ran on the wrong side of the ticket.
You know what? That's true.
He was a Democrat. He was a Democrat before. So like the verbiage that they say when you know better just shows how much.
So it's Dr. Phil.
Hold on, let me hear Rusty. Hi, Rusty. Rusty, are you there?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good. You know what bothers me? Do you guys remember, or did you hear where Nancy Pelosi got up and did that whole smear thing?
The wrap-up smear?
Yeah.
Yep.
All
yeah,
right.
They use that all the
time. She literally said it. Yes, we're playing you guys. She said it on. You guys didn't hear that?
No. What is she talking about?
She got up in a press conference she was doing when she was still Speaker of the House, and it was something about.
Here, I got it for you.
If you can play it.
Yeah,
if you can play it, that's.
I sure will. And I know
he's trying to make it like she's being attacked.
Yeah.
You know it.
Hold on, I'm gonna try to play it.
I think by now we should all be well versed in media propaganda.
You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. In electoral politics,
oh,
called the wrap-up smear.
Yeah, I know about that. I remember that. Okay, I know what you're talking about. But the thing is, we all have that information.
And then
no, it's okay. We've heard it.
They told them.
Yeah. You know, I see people talking about, you know, Fox News, like I'm seeing in the comment, if you want truth, watch Fox News. I would honestly,
even Fox News doesn't have.
Even Fox, right. And that's the thing.
There's only two people I can watch on Fox News. Jesse Waters, and he's a little sensational at times, and Harris Faulkner.
Right. And the thing is, I want you guys to understand that this is all establishment news. I'm sorry. I mean, because and I'll give you, and even I know you said what you said about Harris Faulkner, right? But there was, I forgot who it was. He was doing a segment on her show, and he called out George Soros. And Harris Faulkner was like, "Oh no, we're not going to do that."
I saw that.
Yeah, listen, they are all controlled by the same people. I'm sorry. The only differences they may have are ideological differences that they're allowed to fight about. But when it comes down to this entire political establishment, none of them are a friend to Donald Trump. And I think now he knows that. But the problem is a lot of people have decided that because they hate Donald Trump, meaning because the establishment hates Donald Trump, that means he is an enemy to the American people. Now, if I have already identified that the establishment, the political establishment in this country does not represent the interests of the American people, then I should only deduce from that if they hate Donald Trump too, that means Donald Trump and I may have something in common. What is it that he's fighting for? I'll look into the things that he's fighting for. So when I hear him talking about secure borders, and I hear him talking about free speech, the protecting of our free speech, when I hear him talking about protecting our children, I have to say to myself, wait a minute, why do I hate him so much? And then I start looking at the media, and I look at the things that they tell me that he said. I'm going to be a dictator. They're good people on both sides. This bloodbath, like all of this shit that they tell me that he's saying, you know. And then when I realize, hold on, that's deliberately taken out of context, or he didn't even say any of that shit, even down to the shithole countries commentary that everyone has accepted that he said, even though there's no proof of it. I don't think people understand how easy it is for you to adopt certain beliefs simply based upon someone else telling you that when you have no evidence. We have to get to a place where we start to require evidence for the things that we are told, because we cannot trust the authority that we have defaulted to by way of the government and the legacy media. They're lying to us. They lied to you about the condition of Joe Biden for 4 years straight. Guess who else lied to you?
Longer than that.
Well, that's true, right? But guess who else lied to you? The vice president, Kamala Harris. They all lied to you. But yet, for some reason, I still see Democrats jumping up onto this platform, regurgitating whatever confirms their bias that is coming from the same media that has been lying to you. Think critically. Think for yourself. If you don't know what's going on, ask questions. But even when you ask questions, don't just automatically accept the information. Vet the information. But always question it. Always question the things that you have been taught. Because if you don't question it, listen, you don't have to disagree, but you have to question it. Because if you don't question it, you're nothing more than a mouthpiece for someone else's point of view or their agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll land
Look
there.
up,
So
do
do you
some research. Do some research on yellow journalism from the early 1900s and muckrakers. It's exactly what's happening now is exactly what happened in the early 20th century. We're having it happen again.
Well,
Hey,
I'm not.
Tony.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of the that book. I got to look it up. But being in media, I can definitely tell you. So, you know, everybody in every field, because I think people don't understand media, so that's why they're so easily fooled by it. But one of the biggest red flags, and taking it from me, somebody who literally got fed a news break every 24 hours of what I'm supposed to talk about over the waves, the airwaves, right? So when you get awards in every business that you're in, you're getting awards for your what? Unique style, the way you are a unique actor or a writer or whatever. It's the same thing in the media. So you'll never read an article by a writer in New York that sounds the same as an article from San Antonio, because that's how they bring their uniqueness out, the way they write, the way they report. So anytime you see every news channel saying the exact same thing in every country, in every state, my friends, that is a red flag. There's no way any media person would sound exactly like somebody else in a completely different state. This is
Word
just
for
giving
word.
you
Yep.
my knowledge and what I know. So when you hear that, that's when you go deep diving, go find some more information, listen to different sources, read something, go to the actual websites, listen to the hearings, all that.
Okay. Hey, Riri, how you doing?
Hey, Tony,
and I
how are
see
you?
NC Flair says we're dummies. Thank you, NC Flair. Go ahead. How you doing, Riri?
I'm doing good. Actually, I was just censored on your live.
I didn't say anything yet.
The young lady, Desiree Armstrong, muted me because she couldn't get her point across to you. She put something in the chat like 5 times, and I said, we understood all 5 times that you sent it initially, and then she muted me because she was trying to say something about her family went over to Lebanon and they're laughing at us over here. And she kept putting it in capital letters and she kept sending it in such a way she wanted you to acknowledge her. And so when I told her, basically I acknowledged her, we understood it the first 5 times, she muted me. So I don't know, I've been censored on your page today. Because you're talking about censorship and you have your moderator censoring somebody because that person didn't like.
I know. I don't have my moderator censoring nobody. Like she
took it upon herself to censor.
Right. And that's why I put out that announcement. That is a problem. Yeah. And that's why I put out that announcement to the moderators. Like, listen, I appreciate you guys when you moderate, but I want people to be able to say whatever they want to say. I
have the screen print. I screenshot it, so just in case, because they're saying, "Oh, it wasn't intentional." Yes, it was. Yeah. I got the screenshot that she moved me. So with that being said, I'm going to drop down. I'm going to let you get back to your conversation because I try to gift you as much as I can, and she tried to prevent me from doing that.
No, I'm sorry about that, and I appreciate you. I'm sorry about that. All right.
Not a problem. You have a great day.
All right, you too. Thanks. Yeah. See. Sometimes we can be a little overzealous. I know sometimes the comment section, it gets crazy. So it's easy for us to misconstrue things or even get annoyed. But that's why, I want everyone to say what they have to say. Like even that person that just said we're dummies. Like normally I just block them, but I'm not. I want to know why you think we're dummies. To the person who just said that we're dummies, what was it? MC Flair or something like that? Come up, please. I want you to explain to me why you believe that we're dummies. Tell me what we're getting wrong. I would like for you to come up. You see, I think what you probably expect me to do is to curse and carry on. But the thing is, let's not allow people to dictate our responses or even our emotions, because that's how they win. You know, okay, I'd rather you let them be the ones throwing the tantrums. Let them be the ones hurling insults or whatever it is they're doing. And then almost like a child who's throwing a tantrum. Then you just say, you know what? Come on in and explain to me what's bothering you. I mean, that's how I do it with my kids, right? Well, no, my kids ain't gonna disrespect me, but yeah. But go ahead. What's up, alligator?
Hey, not much. First of all, I'd just like to say that you run a great gig here. You're fair, and you give everybody, you keep people from over talking to everybody. And I got to tell you, I'm an old white guy. I'm 62 years old, and you are one of the smartest dudes I've ever come across.
Thank you, alligator. I appreciate
and we should
that.
be very grateful that we came literally within 210,000 votes. That's what was the difference in the blue wall states from the Democrats having total control over this country. And let me tell you, you could not, as smart as you are, you could not imagine the stuff that would have went down if they were on the other end. If they owned the House, the Senate, it'd be all
my
over.
God. Oh
Be
my
all
God.
over.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, and
I
mean
don't
that
think
sincerely.
he's
like,
right.
Like
He's
that's
right.
why they let so many people in over the border, because their plan was to make them all citizens, and then they vote Democratic because they know they're losing the Hispanic vote. They know they're losing a lot of the black male vote, and they need a bunch of new sheep.
Yep.
Hey, you know what's surprising to me, honestly, in this moment? The fact that we've been allowed to say all of the shit that we've said for the past, 40 minutes, and this live hasn't been suspended yet. That's the crazy thing.
That might
like
be the first little clue.
I don't know.
Don't jinx yourself.
It don't matter because I'm suing their ass. I'm suing you, TikTok. I don't give a shit. So do it again. I dare you. Y'all like, yo, chill, toe. But yeah.
Yo, you know what? What's up, Tom?
Right. What up, bro?
I tried to get it here before when y'all was talking about it, but it's so earlier, right? Yesterday I was at the house thinking to myself, I said, what would have got me to jump on the Democrats party side, right? Because they push a good narrative, right? They can manipulate you easily. And I said to myself, you know what? I said, I watched that broad sit up on that stage, and the whole party, right? They called him Schnittler, threat to democracy, right? They called him all these things. He was going to destroy America. And as soon as he won, it was like, all right, we'll just hand over power, right? You would think like if the man was such a threat to the nation, right? Kamala Harris administration should have stood on stage and said, listen, I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm not conceding. This man is a threat to the nation, right? He's going.
That's right.
Right? I mean, that's what you would think. And so it makes you think like, so you guys are just trashing this man for 4 years. You've been trashing him, and then you sit down with Joe Biden, you handshake, and you're looking for a peaceful transition. Y'all better wake up. They playing the hell out of y'all, and it's embarrassing to watch some of y'all root for the establishment. When did black and Hispanic people start rooting for the establishment? It's weird, bro.
And then the fact that yesterday with the
he's right
votes, the electoral college votes,
that went smooth.
Not one objection.
Not one. And they did the whole right side stands up, then the left side stands up, and they went through every last one. I think they probably finished in 22 minutes, baby, because that was
the fastest one I've ever seen.
No problem whatsoever.
Did you guys hear about what happened in President Carter's funeral today?
No.
They asked President Trump not to show up.
Figures.
Crazy.
What? Who? The family?
Their family, yes. Well, obviously not.
That's fucked up. You know what? Yeah. Oh, damn. That's true.
Not necessarily.
No.
Honest, Trump gets a lot of attention.
I don't think Carter would have done that.
I don't
No,
think so
I
either.
think
I don't
I
think so
think
either.
they're worried about the media and the attention being on him instead of Carter, the actual honoree.
No. That they're playing politics the same way that the Kennedy family played politics against RFK Jr. It's disgusting. These people, man, these people are
but
sick.
Sean, you know what? What do you, Sean? This next 4 years is gonna be crazy, right? Because you know Donald Trump can't do anything right. It's going to be 4 years of he did this and why he did that and look what he did this and why did he do that? It's just nothing the man could do that's ever going to. So I mean, this next 4 years, I'm just going to sit back and watch.
Unless maybe they some more of this truth comes out about what they've really done, and that I'm trying to tell you that media switches up because they're going to have to. They can't keep on doing what they're doing under this leadership. I guarantee it.
Well, everybody's in damage mode. Everybody's in damage mode right now. So
yeah. Well, I think the first couple of years, at least, there's going to be a whole lot of "I told you so"s as the roller coaster prices go up and down. It's going to be up and down, and every time they go up, they're on. I told you so. I told you so. See, he made prices go up. It's like, no, this is a roller coaster.
Right. Listen, everybody's trying to find a safe position, right? They don't want to be outright enemies of the incoming administration, but it's everybody's posturing. They're covering their own ass, just like what Mark Zuckerberg did this morning with that announcement. But at the same time, they don't want to completely disconnect themselves from the corrupt establishment that still is in power, and they believe may be able to obstruct his agenda like they did the last time. So I think a lot of people are going to play it safe for right now. They're going to allow a little bit more freedom in like, let's say, in social media and internet spaces for now. And a lot of them are just going to kind of sit back and let it play out. Because let's be real, a lot of people, they doubled down. Like, they went real heavy on the propaganda and betraying the American people, especially a lot of black people. I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of the black professional managerial class, they're stuck because they went all in, particularly black women. Let's be real. A lot of black women, they went all in and doubled down on the Democrat propaganda machine. And they're pissed. So if Donald Trump succeeds, a lot of these people who have been invested in this leftist lunacy, they're going to be stuck without shit to do. That's why you see Angela Rye crying every fucking day on every damn podcast. These people are really, they've painted themselves into a corner. That's why you see the bozos like Roland Martin just spazzing out every day on the internet, calling everybody all types of names because they don't have anything left to do. They throw in tantrums.
And the problem is they're going to miss opportunities that are right in front of them this next 4 years that they're going to completely miss. Because
they've lost all their opportunities, and I don't ever want to see any of them.
Hey, Tony, have you seen the picture that somebody I guess painted? It's like a painted picture, which basically shows like 4 black women sitting on top of a roof. It looks like a set it off.
I have that.
Set it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the world is burning around them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're just like, well, hey, it ain't my problem. And the thing is, how misguided is that? Like, you actually think that you were in a position to save the world when you were the ones burning it down. It was the 9.5% of black women who voted for Donald Trump, I would argue, that were on the right side of history, and they saved history. It's the 20% of black men who voted against the Democrat lie. You're seeing it. It was more than 20. I think it was 24%. I'm sorry, 24 to 26%. I don't even trust those numbers, to be honest with you.
I'm going to be real with you. I think it was the 45% of Latinos and the,
I didn't
Amish.
finish. Hold on, I didn't finish. Go ahead. I'm talking about the 50. I think it was like 56% of Latino men that came out. Listen, in every demographic, you saw an increase in voting red.
And not just a slight increase, a huge increase.
A massive increase. That's in demographics. That's in the states, in the electoral process. Everyone shifted to the right. So we need to look at that. Now, let's look at that on a micro perspective as it pertains to like nations. That's a major shift we saw in the United States. But if you look at it from a macro perspective, you're seeing all of these countries around the world who have been engaging in this authoritarianism and this weird leftist like lunacy. You're seeing a lot of shift towards the right now. I think we're watching a huge change in our global politics, all because of the radical, extreme leftist politics that have pretty much destroyed the fabric of
I would
our
honestly
world.
say it's probably because of the internet and how we can actually look up facts now. Because back in the days,
And we
Latinos
can
and blacks,
communicate with each other.
I'm about to say,
exactly.
not probably. It
Latinos and blacks back in the days, we were manipulated by newspapers and the evening news. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Whatever they said, we were brainwashed and we believed.
Yeah.
That's how they had Democrats. That's why the Democratic Party kept so much power back in those days. Is because we were manipulated.
Well,
Yeah,
But that's why they're
Republicans are
going
racist.
after. But that's
They're racist.
literally why. But that's literally why they are trying. They've been trying to seize power over social media companies and also the internet. I'm telling y'all, the internet is a blessing and a curse. But the internet is what they're going after, because it's not even just social media. It's search engines now. Do you know who the two biggest contributors were to Kamala Harris's campaign? Do y'all know? Google
Yep.
and Microsoft.
Yep.
They own 99% of all of the search engines on the internet.
Right.
Yeah, but Tony, think about this. How fitting is it? Am I yelling, by the way? Because I'm kind of deaf.
No, we hear you.
No,
you're
you're
good.
good.
You're good.
How
Trust me,
fitting-
I yell. I'm loud. Go ahead.
How fitting is it that minorities saved the country? That is so freaking poetic.
Amen.
The same people who they were telling that Donald Trump was a threat to them.
Right.
Well,
Yep.
just don't forget about the Amish. I'm so proud of the Amish, bro.
Oh, the
It was
Amish?
crazy.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, you know
Scott
that we were
Pressler
facing
deserves
some-
huge kudos for what he did. Scott Pressler was amazing in Pennsylvania to get all those people registered to vote.
Right.
Also the only ones that really stepped up in North Carolina to help people.
Well, right,
But
but
you know-
you see how everybody was running to the polls to be like, "Nah, we cannot let this happen." Has to also show some red flags to somebody, shouldn't it? The Amish haven't voted ever.
Mr. JT, you wrote, okay, Mr. JT, I know you wrote the black vote decided the election.
Yeah, I would
Here's
just
the
read
thing.
that too. That's not
But
true.
here's the thing. It's not true, but
It
I
was
think
part
it's
of
all,
it.
but it's
And we'll
it's
give you
part of
credit.
it. But here's the reason why. Hold on. Here's the reason why. Because the black vote has been the most guaranteed vote for the Democrats for over 60 years.
That's the
And
problem.
once that is the problem. But the problem for the Democrats has been that they have been steadily hemorrhaging votes, which is why they've been focusing on this immigration push, even though a lot of people don't really understand that. So I do think it's a significant factor that you saw such an increase in a departure from black people in this election. I don't know if y'all know that black women, the amount of black women that voted for Donald Trump, it doubled this election. Did y'all know that?
Yeah,
A lot of
Well,
yeah,
I
double.
think it's higher.
And so even though it's a small margin, the point is that they cannot afford to lose any of those votes, because the Democrats have historically operated from a position of, oh, that's in the bag. Black people have been an easy lay for the Democrats. We're a sure thing. That's what it was. So they never even accounted for the possibility of losing any more of those votes. So whenever they factored in their projections on what they're going to win, we were always a part of that equation. But when they lost it, it sent them over the cliff. So I understand that perspective, but I do want to give credit to everybody, because especially Latinos, bro, and
Amish.
like they said, the Amish. Like when you see groups of people who do not vote
in wagons,
go out in record numbers to register in their wagons and shit,
Right?
with
Their
Ezekiel and Jethro and all of them come out, bro.
with
that
Trump
means
flags
something.
on them.
And it's always been
and you know
about,
what, Tony? Here's
last
the
thing,
Go ahead.
because I just want to say it's always been about new voters. This is the thing that I've been trying to appeal to people for a long time. It's not about always trying to convince people from the other side, because a lot of times you're just speaking to people who are not going to hear you, or you might be preaching to the choir. What I'm saying is you want to galvanize new voters. And we saw record numbers of young people come out, like Gen Z came out to vote. And we saw an increase in millennials come out. We saw the Amish come out. You saw a lot of new groups who decided to get involved. And
Muslims came out.
Yeah, that's
shit. That too. I forgot about that. The Muslim vote.
Here's what's going to be interesting. This is what's going to be interesting in the future. Because us I call them, because look, people don't understand the Latino community. There's a difference in between, we call them paisas and then American or Chicanos. Paisas are people that come across the border. Chicanos are people that have been here in America forever, and we're basically Americanized. You know what I mean? And so it's going to be interesting to see the merger of the people they let over, and are they going to be influenced by the Democratic Party? Or are they going to be influenced by us Latinos here in America that are turning our backs on the Democratic Party?
Who do you think they would be influenced by, though?
I think it also goes back to the media targeting those groups, though.
Yeah, I think in the beginning it's going to be they're going to be influenced by the Democratic Party because they let them in.
Yeah,
right. There's
eventually,
and that's what you see in all the headlines.
But ideologically, they don't subscribe to all of that bullshit by the Democrats. I think people tend to be kind of selfish in nature too, right? So I think you got in, good, I'm in. But you're not going to tell me how to think as a result of that. So when they start to see the ridiculousness of a lot of the politics, I think they're going to be like, nah, I can't fuck with that. Nah, thanks for letting me in, but I'm not doing all that.
At the end of the day, most Latino countries, they're conservative based. You know what I mean?
And they're Catholic.
Right.
Their ideas are conservative.
They're Catholic too. So
Yeah, they are. They are.
So I don't know if you talked about this earlier, but when you said goodbye, it just reminded me of Canada's president. Didn't he just say like, all right, y'all, I'm out. I can't.
Thank God.
Yeah, yesterday he resigned. Thank God.
Yeah, he resigned from the party, but he didn't resign as prime minister yet.
Okay, got it.
No, his resignation as prime minister is postponed for March.
But he was going to stay prime minister until they elected a new one.
Right, in March. Yeah. But, his ass needs to be gone. I think we're seeing a significant blow being dealt to the globalist agenda, the World Economic Forum. Justin Trudeau was named one of the prodigies, one of the star child of that movement. So
I think Trump told him what's what when he went to Mar-a-Lago, and I think that's one of the reasons that he's decided to resign.
And Tony, you hit the I do too. And you hit the nail on the head when you said world, because I don't think people understand that this is a world problem. So what Trump has done before he's even gotten into office and had people around the world kind of start straightening up and getting in line is a huge factor. Because their plan was a worldwide plan to just
They're calling for new elections in the UK
how long have we ever heard NWO?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've been hearing about that shit for like almost 20 years now.
Oh, at least.
Well, Isn't it odd? Isn't it so weird how all of these conspiracy theories keep coming out to just be actual conspiracies?
Yes. Yes. Love it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't love it, but I love it because
but I feel like they've been grooming us for it.
Enter censorship. This is not like censorship just happened this 4 years. They've been censoring us from the truth for a very long time. And
what you got to think is like, what is the purpose? Like, why don't we just
control?
It's all about economic control.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And the thing about it is that the internet was really built to keep us under that control. However, there was the loopholes where people got out and was like, you can hear a voice. Now you can see, through video. Now you can get on these panels, and it was too hard. Now they can't control it. That's why they're so scared. That's why this got to go.
Mm-hmm. That's why they want everybody to plug into EVs.
That's it.
It's carbon control.
They need you plugged into them. Period.
I mean, I think everything that we've seen has shown us that the agenda has always been about control. And even when you just said what you said about the EVs, this mandate that they've been trying to put in that everyone has to be driving an EV by like 2030 and all of this type of weird shit, which is impossible, by the way.
Well,
I think this
now
is
the gas prices.
Hold on. But what I'm saying is they're putting impossible expectations on people. They're implementing these regulations like in California and New York, right? Where they're saying you have to have this by this date. We know it can't happen. We know we don't have the infrastructure for it to happen, but they've still imposed those rules. Why? Because it's going to get you to comply and to connect to the mechanisms that they put in place to control you.
The batteries that you have to have in an EV are more detrimental to the atmosphere than oil. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right.
Man,
not to mention the way that they make them and have to dispose of them, which harm the
But
environment.
even if you look at the charging stations and all that shit, the infrastructure on that is terrible, even with Tesla. Let's be real.
Smart cities. Remember when they were all into, we're going to turn into smart cities? I'm like, oh no,
it's dumb.
That's
dumb.
not what we want.
But,
They don't have
and that.
Hey,
Right.
my daughter lives in Chicago, and people last year, it was so cold, nobody could even charge their electric vehicles. If it gets below zero, it just doesn't work.
He's right, and that I've seen it. The whole station just all these cars.
And
just
hell,
stop.
don't get them wet. Don't get them wet either.
Can I say
Listen.
something real quick?
But do you guys know about the hydrogen-based the hydrogen fuel vehicles that they've been working on?
Yeah, those would be great.
Yeah, and everybody that
it's cleaner.
everybody
You know,
gets
and
in
it's-
and unalived.
Well, all I know
there was a guy that ended up getting smurdered, right?
Yep.
And he created a car that could work off of water.
Yep.
I remember
And he ended
that
up
black
getting
guy.
smurdered.
I'm saying that these cars are like gremlins. You can't get them wet. They can't be in the cold. They can't do so. I'm trying to
You guys are like gremlins. That is the best thing right there.
That is funny. That's
And
great.
I think the people like farmer okay, the oil industry is going to be what it's going to be, but pharmaceutical industry, those are the people that are holding us back from cures that we could have for could have had a long time ago. You know what I mean? I think cures are being held back.
You know what? I like that. I like that pivot in the conversation, right? Because we are talking about all of these factors that have been contributing to control over the population. And I think Big Pharma plays a huge role in that as well. And we don't talk about it enough. And the reason why we don't talk about it enough is because they're financing pretty much all of the damn media.
You remember when HIV was a big thing? How the hell did Magic Johnson live so long and still living? When he caught it like what, back in what?
Because he went to Mexico, remember, and he got new blood. Remember?
It was crazy.
Oh, sorry.
There's things
Jamel.
that people know that they can cure these diseases, but they just don't want to show it to people that ain't got money.
Ivermectin is now back on Amazon without a prescription.
Well, our boy, Dr. Sabi, he cured all that stuff. And so at the end of the day, they continue to keep
Y'all really trying to test the boundaries on this live, ain't
I'm
you?
sorry, you're right.
No, I'm just playing.
I got all loose lips. I'm sorry.
No, I'm good. I'm cool. But I am still streaming. Damn, I am still streaming to the other platforms. But yeah. So
Not just cures, the preventions too. They want to block everything that would keep money out of their pocket. We could prevent so much of this stuff. Again, it's going to take a few years to see any positive effects of cleaning up the food system and everything, but the prevention as well as the cures is being blocked.
And you know what the best thing we can do as people, as Americans, for your own safety and health, is just eat right. Eat from the ground.
Yes, sir.
Eat from the
Hold
ground.
on, he's right.
is a complete freak. Here's another guy that has just so much common sense on a TikTok live. You know how many people are eating too much sugar, smoking cigarettes?
Exactly.
You're killing yourself.
All of the processed foods. And here's the funny thing. I don't even know if people even realize this. Like with how big a deal this is of RFK Jr.
Make America
being
healthy
put in.
again.
Yeah, but the thing is, one of the
that's
things
amazing.
that he's pushing, right? Because they trying to overhaul the FDA, which is very important, because we know a lot of the foods that we eat here, a lot of the medicine, a lot of the things that are approved by the FDA here, a lot of the ingredients are banned. They're just banned in other countries,
in other places, yes.
but we're allowed to do it here, and we are steadily increasing as we're already the sickest population
new
in the
additives
world.
are being
We're
approved every day.
hold on. We're already the most obese population in the world. and we're steadily increasing in numbers. And so one of the things that he wants to introduce, what he wants to reintroduce, is nutraceuticals. Do you guys know what nutraceuticals are?
No.
Don't.
Well, we know what pharmaceutical
English
drugs
teacher.
are, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical, think nutraceuticals, natural. Because there was a time when your doctor was able to prescribe to you natural medicine, natural remedies, talking about
Homeopathic.
food-based herbs, right? Right. So now, I mean, let's be real. We know that the whole entire medical industry is about managing symptoms, has nothing to do with a cure. And so when you reintroduce nutraceuticals, that's number one, is a big deal. But I think we need to go deeper, because a lot of people aren't realizing that one of the biggest standards that we've been ignoring is informed consent in this country. It applies in every other area, but why does informed consent and liability not apply as it pertains to the pharmaceutical industry? Have we really dug deep into that to understand the problems with that?
Because they've legislated that
It's a
out
money
of it.
game. It's a money game in the pharmaceuticals industry.
Right.
You're not allowed to sue the pharmaceutical industry anymore.
Right, but that's the problem. That's one of the main problems. And it's, I would argue that it's in violation of the Nuremberg codes, especially as it pertains to the C-19, the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, this is where TikTok is going to, the algorithms are going to start picking this up and trying to block the live and ban me. And this is probably where some of you guys might want to start going over to Rumble. And because I'm still streaming on Rumble and X, because the moment you start speaking the truth about the lies that they told you as it pertains to COVID-19, they ban you. They take down the live. So I expect this live to be taken down shortly in the middle of me talking about it.
You know, it's so crazy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, baby.
No, go ahead.
Well, no, because you were mentioning the FDA and it being different. And so what I had learned was that literally the whole thing about it is that you just have to have the ingredients on the bottle. That doesn't mean that they're not harmful or directly harmful for your body. You know what I'm saying? As long as the words are on the label. So it's absolutely different. And our food is killing us, period. I'm sorry. Dang it.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Exactly.
Wait, hold on. Just for you guys in the chat, that's the name of my Rumble podcast. You can find me on Rumble right there. I just put it in the chat. We need to talk with Tony Lindsay. All right. We need to talk with Tony Lindsay, just so you guys know. And I'm also going to
follow you on there.
I'm going to put
I can't believe you give your full name on TikTok. That's cool.
My full name is everywhere. Like am I a public figure? I guess I'm kind of one. So
I think you are.
You are.
Yeah,
You're TikTok famous.
No, I'm not TikTok famous.
So much other stuff. He does a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I do a lot of this stuff. So being a filmmaker.
You're an
it's
author.
Not like this. Yeah, author. There's no reason for me to hide my name. So, So
Speaking
doxing
Can I ask
me.
you a question
Yeah.
real quick?
Go ahead.
I'm a little not familiar with X. How do you watch you guys' streams on X?
You have to scroll
I
over
see it.
and
Tony
go to
L
their
talks on
page
X.
and scroll over, and then it'll say media or streaming, and you click on that tab, and it'll take you to the streaming part.
Does it have the same platform on X like this?
Okay.
They're all
it's,
different.
it doesn't have an interactive thing. You'll see him streaming. Now, if he goes into spaces, he can do an interactive, but there's no camera.
Right. We can do X Spaces, but X Spaces
So
is
you
cool.
can't-
It needs to get better though. But
Yeah.
that's
I'm
why I
hoping
try
he's
to.
gonna bring back Vine.
I hope he can convert Vine into something similar to what TikTok is.
Well, that's what I'm
because
thinking.
right, TikTok is good. I mean, it is a very good platform outside of all the rampant censorship. But
Mhm.
if they can fix that, I think everyone knows that. Even Elon knows. Like TikTok, it's the shit. That's where it is, because a lot of viral posts on X, a lot of them are being sourced from TikTok. I was viral on X before I even started using X.
Yep.
People were using my content, and it was viral on X, and I didn't know. So I said, let me get on X.
Yep.
Right.
Speaking of the FDA, they are set up to protect certain industries. I will fully tell you that. I'm in the vaping industry, and look at what they've tried to do to the vaping industry by making all of the vaping products nicotine products or tobacco products. It's not the nicotine in vaping that is harmful. It's not anything in vaping that's harmful. It's actually 95% safer than smoking. But they're trying to make it so hard to get products approved because they want to protect the cigarette industry and keep
tobacco,
them
yep. Mhm.
keep them bringing in the money from all the settlements. So it's crazy.
You know, there are so many valid arguments as to why we were not given informed consent when it came to the jab. How many of y'all knew all the ingredients that were in it?
Nobody.
Oh, yeah. Nobody.
I
You
never
could
got
ask to see
vaccinated.
the thing, but it didn't list them all.
So
How
real
many?
quick,
So wait. Hold on. Lady in red, try searching me. Just try searching Tony Lindsay, Lindsay. But usually, if you type in "we need to talk with Tony," it should like pop up in the list. All right. It's like a red thing with a mic, the podcast symbol. Yeah.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
say one thing about C19?
Yeah.
I think I never got the jab. I got it and I got
Pure blood.
pneumonia at the same time and I pulled through. But listen, I can't believe how many parents had their children, their little kids,
Put them up for sacrifice.
I can't believe it. I mean, like,
You know what it
less
was?
than 1/10
It was
of a
statistics
fear.
all said,
chance.
the stats all said that a kid under like 10 years old had a better chance of getting hit by lightning than you know.
True.
And,
Yeah, it
and
was
you
like
still
less
went
than
ahead and did
1/10
it.
of 1%.
They
I don't
put the fear into people beyond belief.
My kid was forced to get it.
Absolutely fear and
Oh
media. But
man.
And you know what's sad is as a father that's not with the mother of my child, I had to like basically just be like, okay, I guess. I mean, not that I agreed with it, but it was like, okay, whatever you're gonna do, you're gonna do, because I couldn't stop it. You know what I mean?
Yes, let me take a mod break really fast since I just feel like it's necessary. There's 183 people in this chat. Can y'all please heart everything down there in the chat and just keep tapping it a whole bunch of times and send a whole bunch of hearts to Tony, please? I don't know if he has a goal up there, but I would love for you to send him some gifts.
I probably
too.
don't. I don't
Would
even know.
be so appreciative.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yes, especially
sorry.
talking about all the things that we're not supposed to talk about. So make sure you got his X thing, his Rumble stuff, all that good stuff. Send the gifts. Follow everybody on the panel, and we appreciate you being here. All right.
Thank you.
You can't. You know what? You can't go on your X page if you're actually in a panel on TikTok, correct? Because I tried just now.
You can't go on your X page if you're. What do you mean? You can go to my X. What do you mean?
No, I went to the X page and I saw you talking, but I couldn't like pull it up because I'm probably in this live. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Shit, I don't even know, to be honest with you. But yeah, but what I actually really need to do though, I need to get like a social media manager to help me get this stuff together because I got a lot going on here, and oh man, it's hard to keep up. You know, there's a lot of technical stuff that you got to do with this podcast stuff and the social media and posting content and all of that. But you know what? I think it'll be different if they release me from the tentacles of state censorship. Then that would mean that I would probably get more followers than I did before. Like I was very popular on these other platforms, you know. And the thing that's crazy, what makes you popular is telling the freaking truth. That's it.
Yep.
That's all it is. Tony, the more I told the truth, you know, at first, like I'm talking about my videos were viral, millions of views, tens of thousands of comments. And then when COVID came, they cut me down. Like maybe you were lucky if you were even to see anything I posted, and maybe if I get like 10 likes on posted shit. So, you know, I even had, you know, remember, I'm also a filmmaker. So I have a movie page for my movie on Facebook. And I was doing sponsored ads. They were taking my money. Now, you know, sponsored ads, you pay for it. You pay for it to go out there and be seen. You target certain demographics, blah, 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 all of that. They were taking my money and they were still shadow banning me. So I'm paying for advertisement and you are hiding my content. You understand?
What movies have you created? I would love to see them.
Where Hearts Lie is the name of the movie. Dan, that's so funny. We're always on this thing, and I never talk about my stuff, but you know, because
I would love to hear about all of them.
Politics. But yeah,
Tony, where is that available on?
Amazon.
Amazon, pretty much most all the streaming platforms except for Tubi right now, because it'll be on Tubi soon. I can't wait to put it back on Tubi too.
Where Hearts Lie.
They was making
Where
fun
Hearts
of
Lie.
me last time, but I love TV.
You know what? Google my name. Just Google Tony Lindsay. I wonder if you'll see Where Hearts Lie.
You giving out your last name?
Yes, Tony Lindsay.
That's amazing.
Look, there he is. Research your
sorry.
And thank you for
thank you.
One of his TikTok accounts had his name in it.
Yeah, Tony.Lindsay too.
I love Tubi too, baby. In the comments, sorry.
Okay, I'm able to see you on X too. I'm on my phone on X and I'm looking at it and I can see exactly what's going on here.
Oh, you can? All right,
can
cool,
see
cool.
You can see the exact video footage of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about a second behind, but yeah, it's live.
Oh, thank you, Bradalyn. Bradalyn says she saw my movie. Thank you. And that was my very first feature film. I was very proud of it.
Are you on Locals too?
You know what? Wait, is Locals the one that's attached to
Rumble?
Rumble?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You know what? I need help. I need a social media manager to help me get this stuff together, man. Because if I could do this, like, listen, I'm just telling you guys.
Remotely, I'll do it for you.
I was about to say,
get Miss Nika to do it.
Hand raising over here.
Oh, or yeah, teacher lady can.
Oh,
Tony.
Yes.
Do you have any idea how bad I'd like to do a live, but I just can't handle the technological end of it? But just the thought of being able to boot or mute somebody who doesn't think the way I do is just so appealing to me. I'm joking.
Thank you, Cajun. Thank you, Cajun, for subscribing. That's another thing.
Make him a mod.
That's another thing.
I couldn't handle being a mod.
Well, yeah, but you can do that as a mod.
Real quick. Just another thing I wanted to say. Thank you to Cajun for the subscription. I know I haven't really been pressing or talking much about like subscriptions because I've been so like heavily shadow banned and on TikTok, but I am going to really ask you guys moving forward to subscribe in order to facilitate the content, because as you know, they banned my other accounts, especially Tony Lindsay too, and they took a lot of money from me because I don't know if you guys know, creators on here, their content is monetized, right? And when you gift people, they get a certain percentage of that gift, right? As well as they are compensated for the time that they spend on these lives. It's nothing. I could be on a live for 24 hours and then I think they'll give you like $100 or $80 or some shit. So I never did this for money because you're not getting money on this shit. Yeah. But the money, I guess you could say, comes from the gifting, the roses and all that stuff that you guys do. And it also comes from like the content that you put out. I stopped doing it so much because they kept demonetizing me and stealing the money. So when you guys were gifting me, I wasn't getting it. TikTok was taking it. Wow. And then when they banned my last account, it had almost $1,000 sitting in there waiting for me. And they got rid of the account. And they didn't just take that money from me, they took it from you.
Yeah, I want my 1,000 roses.
Sounds like you need to get a lawyer, brother. You need to get a lawyer.
Yeah.
So
that's why when I talk about the lawsuit,
that's horrible.
I think this has happened to a lot of people. Thank you, Lady in Red, because I am going to start going back to these subscription goals because honestly, time is money. I don't want to say it like that, y'all, but we all know time is money.
It is.
And when you spend a lot of time doing this, having these conversations, you could be using that time in other areas making money. Now, I would love to be able to like full-time. Thank you, David. I would love to be able to full-time do podcasts, bring people on, have these important discussions. But I understand now the importance of, like, I will never downplay someone. You know how we always teach, oh, y'all just on TikTok and you don't put your life on TikTok. But you know what? I understand the need to monetize what you're doing on social media. So what I want to do is I'm going to build up a subscription-based model, even outside of TikTok and these other platforms, because we need a place where we can all meet without being silenced. You understand? So all the content I provide in these live conversations and anywhere else, we need a central location for that, which is where TonyLindsayOfficial.com came in. Unfortunately, my website is permanently banned on all Meta platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. You can't even type it. You can't even type my website in a private DM to somebody.
Well, after today, it might be back up.
Well,
After
that's going to
today,
be
it
my
might be
gauge.
back up.
That's going to be my gauge. I'm going to, what is that?
Yep.
He's trying it right now, I think.
Did it
Wait,
come up?
no, I think, what is that? That's my page. Wait, let me see. Yeah, that's me. That's my movie, Where Hearts Lie.
Oh, I thought you was trying Facebook.
Damn, look at that beard.
I know, right?
I can live to be 200 years old. I couldn't grow a beard like that.
I literally feel
Yep.
like smoking a joint right
There
now.
you go. That's me. That's me.
ZZ Top.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Oh, okay. Well, oh, got you. Good. So it's showing us right now. All right. So I'm streaming live on Facebook right now. Is that where you are?
That's on X.
Oh, it's on X. Okay, got you. Got you. All right. So yeah, guys. So that's just a brief breakdown. Live free. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing well, Tony. How you doing, brother? Been a
I'm
while
good,
since I
man.
talked
Haven't
to
seen
you.
you in a minute.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's been
Tony's
a
a
minute, man. But
good-looking guy.
I've been in the box
thank you.
listening, you know, and supporting. So, but no, man, you know, I just want to reiterate what you were saying there. I mean, for me, Tony and I met on a pretty bad day of mine. You know, I was driving home from a meeting, and you know, I was on another live, and they were talking about, you know, Democrats are doing their stuff, and I hopped on there for a brief moment. Said, you know, we need to be worried about all the fucking kids missing. That's got to be an issue with people, you know. And
yes.
And
Amen.
this guy was asking me, well, there, you know, I said there's 300,000 children. And he goes, where's your receipts? Prove it. You know, how can you prove it? And I was like, man, what if you prove one, it's enough. You know, I was just so angered that day that I hopped on Tony's live when I got home, and I was fuming, man. At that point, I was just like, you know,
I remember.
what? The CW needs to happen. You know, screw this shit. You know, I'm gonna start using this machine behind me. But no, man, it was and that day, Tony, coming to your page and talking to you, it really, I needed somewhere to dump, because in my life, I don't know any Democrats. In my bubble, in my circle, I married into a family 3 years ago that has some Democrats in it. And they were just the straight skins and shirts kind of Democrat. You know, they just, you know, well, I always voted Democrat. You know, and I converted my whole family that lived in Norman, Oklahoma. I converted them in, you know, from Democrat to Republican. So therefore, I didn't really have, you know, everybody agreed with me, like, yep, Rick, this sucks. Yes, it sucks. And coming to this live though, and being able to just to talk to people that aren't in my circle, get other opinions, man, it was just a soothing thing, man. So I've been a big fan of Tony Lindsay for a hard minute, you know. And I think that's what TikTok needs to get straightened out. But we're all grown adults. We should be able to come in here and talk. I think it's great that we use TikTok to talk about our politicians, because we can't get the truth out of them. We're not going to get the truth out of the social media. We're going to get the truth out of the person that's actually living in the area that knows what's going on, because I do deep dives on my government. You know, I know where they're at. You know, it's like when Langford, you know, wrote that bill for the border wall that the Democrats said, and the Republican wrote it. Well, it was a shitty bill. You know, even a Republican can write a shitty bill. There was a lot of you know, stuff on there for the border, you know. So anyway, I think it's great, and I think we need to continue. I hope TikTok stays, it keeps its nose, you know, clean, and I hope they don't shut it down. I hope they keep it open.
Right.
But I also, if they're not going to let us use our First Amendment right, then yeah, you got to hit them in the wallet, my man, and that means TikTok.
That's right.
That's
right. And I want to know, and I want you guys to know, to those who are even watching me on Facebook, right? If you look, you'll probably see there's probably 2 viewers right now. If you look on Instagram, maybe there's 1, maybe even 0. I am shadow banned on those platforms, but it probably pisses them off that I still keep going live anyway. You're not going to shut me up. That's the point. So no matter how much they try to throttle me down, even here on TikTok, I mean, come on. I was having lives with so many people in my lives. You know what I'm saying? And it all started for me just getting on here talking. I didn't know any of you people. I didn't know about live panels and all of this shit. I was just talking. And I was having like 800, 900, 1,000 people in there. Then I started doing the panels. Then everything started to grow. And then one day,
I remember when you first
they just cut me. They just were like, "No, you're doing too much. Too many people are following you. Too many." I think what it was is that we were building too many bridges, because as a person who is a lifelong Democrat, I think they found it very odd that I was able to bring Democrats and Republicans into the same room where they could have conversations. They'll start off passionate shit. We've had people crying. We've had people threatening each other. But we've also had people who came in as enemies and they walked out friends. We've had people that came in, diehard Democrats, and said, you know what? No, I'm voting for Donald Trump. I didn't even think of it this way. They didn't even have access to the information. I'm married to information, and I'm married to the concept of all of us being American and being able to understand and hear each other. That's
Amen.
why this is a special place. And I think that's why we're targeted, because when the most dangerous thing to a corrupt government is an informed public. They don't want you talking to each other. They want you to hate your neighbor. They want you to hate your family members, which is why they're telling you, don't go over there for Thanksgiving. Oh, if they voted for Trump, I think that to save yourself peace, just stay away from those family members. What type of political movement tells you to cut off your family members? What type of political movement tells you that if your family, if they don't take some jab that you're supposed to be protected from because you're vaccinated, so-called, that you should not invite them over because they're not protecting you by taking something that you already took? This is how they are confusing you, and they're making you just do dumb shit because they have you afraid. It's cultish behavior, it's panicked behavior, it's mob culture. We have to get out of that and start becoming more inclined to get uncomfortable. What do I mean by that? Get comfortable having the uncomfortable conversations with people that you typically don't agree with or don't even like. That's the only way that we build common ground. And I'll land there because I know this is a Tony rant. I haven't done a Tony rant in a while.
It's okay.
I agree. Now, I wanted to tell live, Live Free. Was it Live Free?
Yes, sir. Rick, call me Rick.
I want to share with Live Free and the rest of the panel this one thing that I've always talked about on different panels. What you guys got to remember about, human trafficking is that it's controlled by the cartels, right? But you got to remember the Mexican cartels are also in America. You got to understand that the Mexican gangs, because we're the same people. You know what I mean? We come from the same place. So there are people that go against the American values and partake in all this craziness that happens with human trafficking.
And they're all over.
Correct. Yeah. And it's all over. It's not just southwestern states. You know what I mean? It's all over. It really is.
Why are we getting away with this? Why are we getting away with all of these words? Human trafficking. And
it's because I'm here, Tony.
It came down. I was waiting, but the live still has not come down.
Tony,
So,
it's because I'm here.
let me just say to you that, because you mentioned that, but didn't Hillary Clinton's assistant, isn't she in jail over there right now?
Clinton wanted to take us all down. She was wanting it.
Hey, Tony, I want you to know something, that they might be able to stifle your voice on here, cut your shit off. And I've seen you fight, and I've watched probably one of your first lives, and you were trying to figure shit out. You're like, Neek was helping, you got to do this,
Yeah.
But I've taken what you've said, and I went out and told 20 people, and they've probably went out and told 10 people the way that you word thing, your ideology.
That's the way you do it.
Your facts, go hunt down your facts. This is where you're going to find your facts. Quit listening to this. And I've told, I'm 20 people is probably not more accurate, but I've told, I work in the oil field, and I'm a management. And so I got access to a lot of ears, and we do sit around, we do have lunches, and we do have these conversations. And so
that's right.
Don't, your war is a lot bigger than what TikTok can give you or not, because I've actually
that's right.
pointed people your direction. Listen to this cat, Tony Lindsay, and they've looked you up. So I mean, they're not. They might got your boot on your throat, but your voice is loud. So kudos to you, brother.
You've helped me use what I know, and then I've heard some of the facts that you've given, and I've been able to combine that, and I'm like, bam, bam. So it's definitely helped to have this platform for sure.
And let's be real. Listen, there are a lot of people way
Tony,
smarter than
I
me
gotta go. I gotta
that
go
come
real
into
quick,
this
brother.
space.
Appreciate you bringing me up.
All right,
Hey, Valdez,
bro.
nice meeting you, brother. Let me give you a
You're
follow.
good man,
No
Valdez.
doubt. No doubt. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
But that's the good thing. You can bring all the smart people together on the panel, and with the combination of everybody's intelligence and knowledge and years of experience, it brings so much. Like,
yeah, because I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I felt like we had like a real super team for a while that used to kind of congregate in this space, right? And I get it. I love when everybody, they do their lives, they do their things. But I don't know. I still feel like for some reason, like whenever we all congregated here, it was kind of like the perfect combination or something. But, you know, unfortunately, sometimes TikTok drama, that you know, instant agitators, they get involved in stuff. But I still got love for everybody there. And they're always welcome to come back in this space, especially if we're talking about a common goal. But I'm never going to stop. And I don't think anyone should ever stop. You understand? Be attracted to the information. Be attracted to getting some common understanding so that we can do what's best for the country. That's what matters. So that's why I always say, get comfortable talking to people that you're not comfortable talking to. Learn how to agree with people that you usually don't agree with. Learn how to agree with people that you don't like, because even enemies have to talk. And once we understand that lesson, bro, we can make so much progress.
And I think
You're
that when
absolutely
you're talking to people, you need to just also come with an open mind and be willing to learn. You know, 'cause a lot of
It's
people
hard to
come
find a
into things
Democrat
and
that
be
wants to do that. A
closed-minded all
lot
the
of them
time.
just got that wall that you just cannot break down. I've tried to go in with empathy.
That's true.
At
Rick,
the
you're
beginning of all this, I tried with empathy. It's like, hey man, sorry about your loss. You know, I know how you feel. It's gonna be okay. Watch, our boat's gonna ride. Don't start busting the oars off the boat before it even gets in the river. Let's just give this a chance, you know. And they
better not give him a chance.
They
Donald
won't.
Trump's a dictator. He promised on day one.
Well, the problem with media is with the way our minds are, everybody is so quick to just jump on clickbait. Our minds just process the first couple minutes of things, and that's how we think. You know, that's just how our minds think. We think with the first couple minutes.
We think in sound bites.
Yeah,
we think in sound bites. We have a short attention span.
We read headlines and not the whole article.
4 seconds.
Yes, that's a big one.
Hey, Tony, can I play moderator?
Yeah. And
Sure.
we don't,
Okay.
we can't process much further than that. You know, we don't process, we jump on the first thing. We don't process much further than that. And people don't want to take the time to actually dig into research because that's too much work.
Tony, can I play
What's
moderator?
up, Bradley? Can you play moderator?
Yeah, let's hear what God Above All has to say. She's been waiting for a while.
Oh, she's
good.
good.
Hey, Allie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
she's good?
Yeah, yeah.
Good
she's
job,
good.
alligator. She's a friendly.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. How are you today,
She's
Tony?
a regular.
I'm good. How you doing, Allie?
I'm good. Just still trying to fix my car.
What's wrong with your car?
It was the control arm was bent, so I got the control arm replaced, but now I got to get the tires replaced and get an alignment.
Did you hit something?
Okay.
Yeah, I slid on black ice into a rock.
But you're okay.
Ouch.
But it's all good. All good. You know, blessed over here, so we're good.
Okay. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
Tony,
we were talking.
Tony,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I didn't mean to overtalk you. I got to get out of
That's all
here.
right.
But can I say two things?
Of course.
I want to say that I wish everybody in this live lived on my street because I'm from the blue state of Connecticut, and my street was all Harris signs except me. And I got the last laugh
you're
on
brave.
all of them. And they hate me. They literally hate my guts.
Oh.
That's a badge of honor, brother.
The other thing is, in
Good for you for
2000
sticking it out there, though. I mean,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I had my signs out, my big flag. But
Good.
anyway,
Impressive.
But anyway, in 2028, I'm not getting ahead of ourselves here, but one thing you got to remember about the next election, there's a drove of women who wanted to vote Trump, but they just hate his guts. And they're all going to jump ship in 2028 for Vance or whoever else is on the ticket. They just couldn't vote for him. They wanted to, but they couldn't. Some of them voted Harris. even though they didn't believe in her, and some of them just didn't vote.
Wait a minute. That's a good point. You know what point he's made? That's actually a good point. Let's be real. If let's say the person who was running wasn't Donald Trump in this election, let's say he had Trump policies, but a much better delivery, and you didn't have a media that was propagandizing him so much. How much of a landslide do you think this election would have been? It would have been major, right? Completely. Yeah. So now imagine the next election, Donald Trump is no longer the distraction, but you now have someone who may be younger, more articulate, better equipped to explain the policies.
So this is why they don't want this next 4 years to go right, because honestly, if they unveil the truth, if they actually do a good job.
But hold on, Miss Nika. I just want to finish this point. I'm sorry. I just want to finish this point because I think that's significant what he just said, because that tells me that they know Donald Trump is not going to run any more elections. So if I was a strategist, if I was part of one of these Democrat think tanks, you know what I would do? I would start coming up with a plan to start going after J.D. Vance and all of the others who may be potential candidates for 2028 now. I'll start it now. I may not even focus on Trump that much because we know they're thinking ahead. So now we got to just also think, bro, they're not done yet. So we got to push back. Just stay on task, because I'm telling you, these people, they know exactly what they're doing.
Let me ask you this. I mean, is our media ran by the Democrats? Is that that how it's ran? I mean,
ran by the deep state.
Honestly,
yeah, mostly.
But it's liberal. Yeah, it's leftist.
So
a good solid candidate in the Republican side that, like you said, knows how to speak to the groups, to the masses, right? And we actually have a good 4 years. I believe it's another landslide in red, because
because the women because the people who didn't vote for Trump, a lot of them didn't vote for him just because of the personality,
because of his morality.
So but otherwise they would have voted for him. So take Trump's personality out of it. So now you're probably going to get a much bigger landslide. But I think it'd even be more if Donald Trump is able to achieve even some of the successes that he had in his first administration. So they're going to try to obstruct him. But the most important thing is the free speech.
If you could get energy lowered, that's like the biggest thing.
That's why they're.
I don't think that's going to be hard.
Pick, though.
Well,
I don't think that's going to be hard.
To make it hard. He closed off like 620.
I think the censorship. I think the censorship is the most important thing. I'm telling you, because it doesn't matter if you can't talk about it.
Because you heard a lot of people say, I didn't like her, I didn't like him, so I just didn't vote at all this time.
Absolutely. And
a lot of people said that.
If people can simply just live better, because I'm telling you, the amount of people that make six figures that were still living check to check is the main reason why they was running to the polls. So if people can live better on a general case, all this other stuff, people really don't pay attention to generally until it's election time. Nobody cares about tariffs. Nobody cares about the Section C 8352. Nobody cares about that generally. So
I got diehard Democrats like on my block, my friends, diehard Democrats, and they voted for Trump. And a lot of these people, they make six figures, and they were just like, man, I can't even survive right now. I can't keep doing these politics with these Democrats. I'm voting for Trump, and I just told them vote Republican wherever the hell you can.
So
not just Trump.
Yeah, so if you want the vote of the general public for the next election, let life just be better and watch it stay red.
And let the media report it as being better, because they're already attacking every cabinet pick that he puts up there that could possibly be
someone
to run in 2028. So it's like we could have all of these awesome people
on X watching.
Already they're attacking everybody.
I was gonna end the live. It's like 138. So all right, guys. So you guys see that I am live on TikTok. I just for somebody said it in the chat, something Diet Pepsi. Yeah, I actually started this segment talking about Mark Zuckerberg's announcement this morning, which was a big deal, and I broke it down in the segment on We Need to Talk with Tony Lindsay on Rumble. So what I'll do, I'm going to end the live over there on Rumble. So everyone watching on Rumble and on X and on YouTube and on Facebook and on Instagram, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to just kind of move it over to TikTok for now. I'm surprised that TikTok allowed me to stay this long. I actually got more viewers than usual.
3 topics you
but-
covered that should have been dropped already.
Yeah, I should have been kicked out of TikTok already. And I know y'all on X and Rumble, you don't see anything crazy that I said. But on TikTok, I probably say half of the shit that I said, it should have got me suspended already. So that's why it's significant, the announcement that Mark Zuckerberg made. And for anyone in this TikTok live who wants to get a recap of it, just go to my Rumble and you'll see that I started off this segment talking about that. And then I'll put up different segments of that podcast later on, probably starting tomorrow. All right. And I'm going to revive the podcast, which is actually available on like Amazon Alexa devices. It's available on Spotify. What is that? iTunes, all of that. Like I have a podcast. If you guys got an Alexa device, just say play We Need to Talk with Tony Lindsay and it'll come up. But anyway, I'm going to start putting up more content again. Thank you all for coming. I'm not saying goodbye to y'all on TikTok. I'm saying goodbye to Rumble. So everybody on Rumble X, I appreciate you guys. Follow me at Tony L Talks on X. And you can follow me on Rumble and YouTube. We Need to Talk with Tony Lindsay. All right. Thank you all very much.
Why you sitting that? Everybody keep
hold on, Miss Nika, you gotta let me close out. I'm closing out. Yeah, I'm just closing out the segment on Rumble. But yeah, so once again, everyone on Rumble, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And always remember, always question what you have been taught. You don't have to disagree with it, but you must question it. Otherwise, you're nothing more than a mouthpiece for someone else's point of view.